Here on 5 Live, it's Plymouth against Leeds United, so I'll hand it over to you, Ali. Are you with me?
I am indeed. Neil Warnock, of course, has managed both of these great clubs, Plymouth Argyle and Leeds United. They're out and ready to go. You could tell how windy it is down there, because when the players appeared from the tunnel away to our right-hand side, they were walking into that wind, and you know what it's like when you're outdoors and the wind's really blowing and the rain's stinging your face, and they're all sort of hiding their faces and turning their collars against it. The little kids holding the giant green and white flags, making a tunnel for the players to come out onto the field. We're pretty much struggling to hold on to the flags as well, but we are underway. Plymouth defending the goal away to our left. They're all in green, Leeds all in white. This is an FA Cup fourth round replay that has to be decided tonight, and the winners will go to Aston Villa or Chelsea in the fifth round of this great competition. I hope the atmosphere also is coming through loud and clear wherever you're listening to us this evening. Home Park is packed, it's soaking wet. The fans who've come in late, they've shown that. There's a few lads who've just sat down in front of us and their coats and hair absolutely wet through, but looking forward to a good game. Leeds attacking down the right. Both managers have made plenty of changes. I'll remind you of the lineups in just a second. Wilfred Nyonto's just blasted across from the right first time into the stand behind that Plymouth goal on the left. I'm going to go for the old cliche, Danny. Great night for cup football this, isn't it?
It certainly is. As you said, ABB, Home Park absolutely packed. Leeds have contributed to that as well. They always travel so well. You know, a really long journey for them midweek, but you know, they don't care, do they? They turn up in their numbers. A little bit of rain, wind, the conditions might play a part this evening. You know, you've got to adjust to the conditions, but I think we're going to see a great game.
Morgan Whittaker passes the ball out to Callum Wright, Plymouth's first attack of the evening. Just over a minute play. Cross in from Callum Wright to the far post. Hardy stretches, nearly got a foot on that, and it's eventually skidded behind for a goal kick to Leeds. But the Whittaker-Hardy partnership so far this season has provided 28 goals for Plymouth. You can see why straight away.
Yeah, you certainly can. There's a man, Callum Wright, coming into the starting 11 tonight, who did really well left side of the 18-yard box. He holds onto the ball really well, spins, and he just whips a really inviting ball into that far post area. Ryan Hardy not too far away from it.
So Ian Foster, the new Plymouth boss, is out there with the black coat on. It's unzipped despite the pouring rain. Leeds have played through Plymouth here. The flag goes up. Matteo Joseph, the 20-year-old, who's yet to score for Leeds United, thought he was in on goal. Plymouth absolutely wide open at the back and very relieved to see that offside flag go up. The entire Plymouth half was empty.
Yeah, it was a simple 1-2 in that central kind of area, and that Plymouth back three got dissected. I have to say the linesman was in a really good position. He was in line with play. Thought it was a tight one. No, Matteo Joseph just straying offside.
One green balloon goes spinning around inside the centre circle, being blown violently on the strong wind that is down here in the southwest tonight. So Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. Coventry, Sheffield Wednesday underway, FA Cup fourth round replay. Southampton, Watford as well. Commentary of that one on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Heavy challenge in midfield there. Leeds are going to get themselves a free kick, a 50-50. Both players went thundering towards the ball there. And I'm just trying to see who that was that came off worse for Leeds. It's the right back Sam Byram, isn't it? But he's picked himself to his feet. He's going to be okay.
Yeah, it's Adam Randall in that midfield area. Byram's on the ball. He just looks to play the ball forward, and he's just late with a challenge there, Adam Randall.
First game at Ellen Road finished 1-1. Leeds on the ball inside their own half. Firpo plays it down the left. Jaden Anthony scored the goal for the Leeds in that first game, and he is starting wide on the left for Leeds tonight. Early goal at Coventry, Chris Coles.
And it's an early goal for Coventry. They've made an excellent start at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Casey Palmer with it. Ball given away by Sheffield Wednesday in midfield. Ball through to Palmer, onto his right foot, found the bottom corner. Clinton Morrison, perfect Coventry start.
Yeah, brilliant. Diaby loses the ball. He can't take too many touches, but once Palmer gets it, it's a good ball from O'Hare. Once he gets into it, I was thinking shoot. He delays it, waits till it opens, and then drills it into the bottom corner. Fantastic start.
No surprise, the team very strong at home have started very strongly at home. Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Winners of that one at home to Maidstone United at the 6th tier of English football. They are in the fifth round after that fabulous win against Ipswich Town at Portman Road. Coventry leading Sheffield Wednesday then by a goal to 0. Plymouth 0, Leeds 0 here at Home Park. Great noise inside the stadium. Rain continues to pour down. Plymouth have Connor Hazard in goal. Three centre-backs. Ashley Phillips is an 18-year-old on loan from Tottenham. Lewis Gibson, signed from Everton in the summer, he's 23. And Brendan Galloway, former Everton player as well. Bali Mumba, Matthew Sorinolo are the two wing-backs. Sorinola's just been signed as a free agent in January, previously playing his club football in Belgium. Joe Edwards, the club captain, the 33-year-old, alongside Adam Randall in central midfield. Randall was the man who scored the equaliser for Plymouth at Ellen Road, which set up this replay. We've mentioned their front three, Morgan Whittaker and Callum Wright, either side of Ryan Hardy. Here's Jaden Anthony, lays the ball off to Ilya Groif, the Bulgarian in Leeds central midfield. The ball runs loose inside the Plymouth half. Played up down the right for Plymouth. Whittaker is able to turn. Firpo gives him a little shove. Whittaker wins the free kick. I'll give you the Leeds team very quickly as well. Ilan Meslier, the Frenchman, in goal. Sam Byram and Junior Firpo, the full-backs. Joe Rodon, Welsh international. And Liam Cooper, the Scot, are the two centre-backs. Ilya Groif and Glenn Kamara in central midfield. Willie Gnonto, Joel Pirro and Jaden Anthony supporting Matteo Joseph. So the likes of Patrick Bamford, Crescencio Somerville and Jorginho Rutter and Archie Gray on the bench for Leeds tonight. I know you were looking forward to seeing a bit of Archie Gray tonight, weren't you, Danny?
I think we all were. Fantastic talent, Archie Gray. Wise head on young shoulders already. Watched him play a fair bit this season. Playing out of position as well. He's a central midfielder. He's played a lot of the season as a right back, and it just shows the maturity that he already has as a player. So yeah, I was really looking forward to seeing him. But don't worry, ABB, we've got Morgan Whittaker. So
yeah, we have. He's just down beneath us, patrolling the right flank for Plymouth. Gold numbers on their backs, their dark green kit, defending to do. They've won the ball back on the halfway line. Here he is, Whittaker, tall man, striding forward at speed into the Leeds penalty area, runs into a couple of Leeds bodies there. The ball breaks loose to the goalkeeper Meslier, clears it with his left foot. There's another sign of how strong the wind is, because that looked like it was sailing across the halfway line. Then it got held up, just stopped in the breeze, and Plymouth have it again on the left-hand side. Sorinola fires a low skidding pass down the left to Callum Wright. Wright's got a defender breathing down his neck. He's tackled and the ball goes out for the Plymouth throw on the left. So 7 minutes in, Plymouth 0, Leeds 0, and Coventry leading Sheffield Wednesday by 1-0 in these FA Cup fourth round replays. Casey Palmer with the Coventry goal there. Sorinola is waiting to take this throw. He's just about level with the edge of the Leeds penalty area. Hardy comes running towards him, the centre forward, lays the ball back here, and it's pinged across the pitch from left to right, and Bali Mumba lets it bounce twice, brings it under control, plays it into midfield. A lot of pace on the pass from Joe Edwards. Whittaker got a touch, Edwards continues to chase, and eventually it goes out for a throw into Leeds in the left back position. Danny Gabbidon.
I'd say it's been a bright start from both teams. Leeds right from the kick-off drove up the field, didn't quite get the cross right in the end, lacked a bit of end product, but then it's been a really good response from Plymouth. Just looking at it tactically, we know Leeds United is a bit of more of a slower build-up. They like to play out from the back and work their way up the pitch, and then they come to life when they get the ball into their front players. And Plymouth look like they're trying to press high up the pitch and try and force those mistakes in decent areas of the pitch, and they almost got caught doing that with a 1-2 where Matteo Joseph got in behind, but he just strayed offside. So press is going to be important for Plymouth tonight. They need to get the balance right with that. 8
minutes in, Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. Ball breaking just inside the Plymouth half. Gnonto, strong tackle on him. The ball breaks for Grouf. Grouf plays it across to the right to Sam Byram. Byram plays back to Joe Road on his white shirt billowing in the breeze. Byram plays it down the right to Gnonto, who scored that winning goal for Leeds at Bristol City on Friday night. They've won their last 5 championship games. Team in very good form, as are Plymouth as well. Meslier plays the ball out to Rodon. Rodon just puts a foot on it. Glenn Kamara's to his right, forward to Gnonto. This is all inside the Leeds half. Back to the goalkeeper they come. Let's check in on Cambridge Bolton in League One. Charlie Slater.
Well, what there is to check on, 10 minutes have been played, but the referee David Rock has brought a halt, at least temporarily, to proceedings here. The weather is horrendous. It's like they've put a slip and slide in a wind tunnel, and both sets of players, the managers, the coaching staff and the officials have just made their way off the pitch here at the Abbey Stadium and down the tunnel, and I don't think they're coming back out. As it stands, 0-0, 10 minutes played, but I'm not sure we're going to get any more than that either.
What are we saying there, Charlie? Wind stop play?
The wind and the rain. More the rain. The rain's unbelievable. goal, and there was just on this near touchline, the ball is stopping, players are slipping over, and Bolton kicking into the wind. The keeper keeps trying to kick the ball forwards, and he can't even move it 30-40 yards. It's coming quite literally 5 to 10 yards back at him as he tries to clear it away with all his might. But the real concern is on this near touchline where players are falling over left, right and centre. The ball is sticking and it's becoming unsafe, and I think that's the concern of the official.
OK, thank you, Charlie. Charlie will keep us posted. Rain is falling, wind is blowing here at Home Park, but fortunately we are going to be able to have a good game of FA Cup football tonight as Plymouth attack down the right. Morgan Whittaker can't quite keep the ball in play, nor can Liam Cooper. Goes out for a Plymouth throw. A few challenges flying in early on in this game as well. Goal in the Scottish Premiership. I see that Motherwell are one up on Ross County. Neil Warnock's management stint is underway at Ibrox tonight with Aberdeen. That game is still goalless. Another goal at Coventry as well. Chris Coles.
Coventry were not in front for long. Sheffield Wednesday have equalised 1-1 with 10 minutes played. Young Bailey Cadamartri capitalising on a loose ball in the penalty area. Right foot shot in off the post. Clinton Morrison, this has been a very entertaining start.
Hell of a game. I did say that we'd get goals in this game, and yeah, they don't do with it. Coventry, and young Cadamartri. It's a really good finish in off the post. There's loads of goals in this game. You always get goals when you're with me.
Now you've said it. Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, 11 minutes in.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Clinton. Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. Danny Gabbidon sitting alongside me in the wind and the rain at Home Park. Let's get a weather check on the other FA Cup fourth round replay tonight. Henry Moran at the St Mary's Stadium, Southampton-Watford.
Very much the same scene here. It is really bucketing down, and as the ball goes across the face of the Watford goal, and it is quite hard for those players out there with the strength of the wind. We've just seen actually all of the technical analysts for Southampton. His notes have gone flying everywhere across the technical area. It's a little bit like that game at the end of the Crystal Maze as he's trying to reach around everywhere, trying to grab the notes as best as he can. 0-0 after 9 minutes.
Thank you, Henry. Commentary of that one over on Radio 5 Sports Extra. And first mistake of the evening, I'll put my hand up. Rangers Aberdeen kicks off at 8. So Neil Warnock's tenure at Aberdeen hasn't quite started just yet.
I've got to say, Alistair, there's a lot of managers that wouldn't have taken that Aberdeen job until after the Rangers game. But fair play to Neil Warnock.
Yeah, sounded like he fancied
a challenge,
A trip to Ibrox. Whittaker on the ball for Plymouth again, running across the Leeds half. Good challenge on him from Groyf. Whittaker's down. Plymouth have the ball back again. Captain Joe Edwards plays across to Sorinola, the left wing back. So it's the three centre backs for Plymouth. Sorinola, first start for Plymouth, wide on the left, but it's their goalkeeper Connor Hazard who fires the ball downfield. Former Celtic man, talking Scottish football as well. Big game for Rangers that tonight, because if they win, they move level on points with Celtic. They'll have played the same number of games. Celtic in action in the Scottish Premiership tomorrow night away at Hibs. Here come Leeds. Matteo Joseph into the penalty area, twisting and turning, gets the shot away, clips the bar. Very nearly scored his first goal for Leeds. Wouldn't have counted anyway because the offside flag is up. What are the Leeds players complaining about here? We'll work it out in a second. We'll go back to Charlie Slater and find out a little more on events between Cambridge and Bolton, with players having been taken off the field.
And they are still in the dressing rooms at the moment, but we've just had an announcement over the tannoy here that the game is being assessed at the moment, but if this area of rain doesn't move on and quickly, there's going to be no point. And in the last few seconds, we've just seen a couple of elderly gentlemen take to the field with a couple of brushes. And there's another tannoy announcement. There's going to be a delay of around 10 minutes before any further announcements or updates to be made. But the two elderly gentlemen are doing a fine job brushing all of that water off the pitch, but I think they're going to need a bigger broom.
OK, Charlie. Hang in there. We'll be back to you soon. Let's hope that game can get back underway. Bolton starting the night, third in League One. Games in hand on Derby and Portsmouth above them, but at the moment no football. And the game being assessed, as Charlie says. 14 minutes gone here at Home Park. Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. Whittaker trying to find Hardy through the middle. Interception by Rodon. Rodon took a knock there as he played the ball away, but he's done well for Leeds. And Joseph, the offside flag, goes up against him. Danny Gabbidon, just going back to the Joseph shot that clipped the bar, was that given as offside or was it given as a goal kick? Because if it was given as a goal kick, Hazard actually got a hand on that to touch it onto the bar. That must have been what the Leeds players were complaining about.
Yeah, he couldn't believe it. It's a brilliant save from Connor Hazard. Brilliant centre forward play from Joseph as well. Little run down the side of Lewis Gibson. And it's a 1v1 situation inside the 18-yard box. He cuts inside, cuts back outside onto his right, creates that half a yard. It's a brilliant strike, brilliant save from Conor Hazard onto the crossbar and over. The linesman doesn't see it though. I think he gives the goal kick.
Yeah, I mean the shot was hit with ferocious power. I have to say I didn't see the sort of obvious deflection on the ball, but the players saw it so clearly. They were amazed that the assistant referee didn't also spot it. So Leeds all in white, playing from right to left. If you know your home park, their fans in the Barn Park end away to our right. They're playing towards the Devonport end, and we're sitting right at the back of the big old grandstand, or it was the oldest stand in the ground, has since been refurbished, packed full of thousands of Plymouth fans in the green and white. Cooper's ball down the inside left channel for Leeds, goes bouncing twice into the Plymouth penalty area, and Conor Hazard comes off his line and gratefully grabs it with both hands. So winners of this tie away to Chelsea or Villa in the 5th round. That's our commentary tomorrow night, kicks off at 8 o'clock. On 5 Live and BBC Sounds. We've got full commentary of Aston Villa, Chelsea. Nottingham Forest, Bristol City is on Sports Extra tomorrow night, and the winners of that one will be at home to Manchester United, with those 5th round ties being played midweek, late February, Monday the 26th, Tuesday the 27th and Wednesday the 28th. Sorinola's down, he's headed the ball out of play, he's landed awkwardly. Leeds wanted to take a quick throw, they're not being allowed to, and Willy Gnonto just comes running back to him and helps his opponent to his feet. Now, Wilfred Gnonto is one who's continuing to look to make an impression on Daniel Farke this season. Just 8 starts in the Championship. As I say, scored the winner at Ashton Gate on Friday night, which was important, and interesting to see, Danny, that he doesn't get a rest tonight, that he gets to go again, unlike Somerville and Bamford and some of the others.
I'm not surprised by that. I think he needs the game time. It's good to see him kind of knuckling down a bit now. Nonce, obviously, in the summer, I think he was keen to leave the football club. I think now there's talk about him signing a new contract, and he'll want that game time. He'll want to play himself into form. So he's going to be a key performer for Leeds now between now and the end of the season. Yes, Somerville has been in outstanding form. Daniel James as well, who's been playing on our right hand side, but Gnonto is a fantastic talent as well. Yeah,
as we say that, he's just won Leeds a free kick. It looked like the ball might be going out for a throw, but a free kick's been given. He was just bumped into, he was getting his body in between him and Sorinola and the ball, and Sorinola's just stopped Gnonto, and Sorinola's momentum took him into him, knocked him over right under the nose of the assistant referee, and I think Leeds would rather have the free kick here from wide on the right, because they can sling a good ball into this penalty area. So 17 minutes in, Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white shirts starting to make runs inside the Plymouth box away to our left. Long blast on the whistle. Delivery comes in, high spinning one from the right. Bounces out of the box now. Leeds have retained possession, but they've had to come all the way back to the halfway line. Finnish international Glenn Kamara, former Rangers man, to Gnonto. Drives a diagonal ball. Barley Mumba stoops, diving header away, and then Joe Edwards tackled in midfield. Plymouth get the throw. Right, Rangers Aberdeen is underway. Neil Warnock in charge of Aberdeen. Jane Lewis can bring us the latest.
Yeah, the Neil Warnock era is underway. It's Rangers 0, Aberdeen 0. Both teams just filling each other out, really, to be honest with you. Rangers had an early corner after some early pressure, but it came to nothing. Aberdeen with a little bit of defending to do, but they're handling the pressure admirably well. Neil Warnock is out on the touchline, making himself heard. Looks like he's enjoying himself. It's 0-0.
Foul throw, thank you Jane, from Ashley Phillips, the 18-year-old centre-back on loan from Tottenham. Looks slightly bemused by the decision from the referee, but Leeds have been given the throw instead, so Junior Firpo takes that, bounces once onto the chest of Jayden Anthony. Jayden Anthony on loan from Bournemouth to Leeds this season. Gnonto plays it to Firpo, good ball into the penalty area, headed up in the air. Plymouth haven't got it clear yet. Joseph there first for Leeds. Plays it back out to the right-hand side. Sam Byram's up in the attack here. Kamara, edge of the penalty area, bit of skill, lays it across the box. Oh, driven shot hits the bar. Thumping effort from the edge of the penalty area. What a strike that was. And Leeds now have struck the woodwork twice in the opening 20 minutes of the game. Joel Pirro with that thunderbolt with his left foot, and then Jayden Anthony goes tumbling down in the box. A cross came in. I don't think he was ever going to get to that with his head. He was trying to buy a penalty, and quite rightly referee Robert Jones says to him, no, up you get.
Yeah, he just got eased out of it. Clever defending in the end, but Connor Hazard nowhere near this attempt from Joel Peru, and it just slowed Plymouth to kind of close down, get out of that 18-yard box. The ball gets played square by Camera into Peru, and I have to say it's a fantastic strike. Cannot do any more with it. He probably feels that that's nestling in the back of the net. I think it might take a slight deflection off a Plymouth player as well onto the crossbar. So unlucky. It's just really slow to kind of get up. Plymouth got enough bodies back there, but no one really engages. No one's made to pay the price there.
Watching the replay time and time again of the Joel Pirro shot, Danny Gabbidon spot on, took a little deflection, didn't take any of the power off, but just sort of put a bit of rise and dip on the shot, which made it even more difficult for Connor Hazard to try and save. Smashed into the crossbar, and then a whole host, like standing in the shower, a whole host of raindrops came tumbling off the bar in the slow motion replay. Watching that on the BBC One pictures. The game tonight is live on BBC One. You're listening to it on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. 20 minutes in, here's Callum Wright for Plymouth. Lay off into the box, and the shot is weak, and Meslier is able to get down to his right and make the save. Joe Edwards, the club captain for Plymouth, hits it with his right foot unconvincingly. Good game this one at the moment. Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. Drove past Exeter's football ground on the way down to this one tonight. Sheridan Robbins there tonight watching Exeter Peterborough in League One.
Exeter 0, Peterborough 0. It's one-way traffic from the visitors. Joe Randall thought he'd scored against his former club, but the flag went up pretty quickly. It's still Exeter 0, Peterborough 0.
Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1 in the FA Cup 4th round replay. Southampton 0, Watford 0. Commentary over on Sports Extra. This is Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. Leeds have struck the crossbar twice. Here's Grauf down the line to Joseph. I can see Fleetwood have won up away to Bristol Rovers in League One. Kamara on the ball for Leeds. Goal at Ibrox. Here we go then, Jane Lewis.
Yeah, it's gone to the home side. It's the Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0. It was McCausland who cut in after a lovely run. The shot was well saved by Kel Roos in the Aberdeen goal, but there was Rabiot Matondo lurking, and he pounced to make Rangers go 1-up in this one. A bad start for the new Aberdeen manager, but delight for Philippe Clement. Rangers 1-0 up against Aberdeen.
Win tonight for Rangers puts them level on points with Celtic. They'll have played the same number of games. They started the night 2 behind them on goal difference. Celtic in action tomorrow away at Hibs. Danny.
Welcome to Scotland, Neil.
Exactly. Rodon with his right foot for Leeds calmly strokes a pass out to Sam Byram on the right. Byram, former Norwich man, playing under Daniel Farker again. Farker is wrapped up tightly in his big grey coat beneath us. Leeds have won a free kick wide on the right, and a chance for them to get another cross into the Plymouth penalty area. And they made 5 changes tonight. Daniel Farker, 5 changes to the team. They've been pretty sharp though so far, Dennis.
It's still a really strong Leeds team though, isn't it? The quality that they have in their squad.
Another cross comes into that Plymouth penalty area. This a low one, fizzed across the face of goal from Nyonto, and it goes behind harmlessly from Plymouth's point of view for a goal kick, but the pressure keeps coming from the visitors. Yeah,
they just took a quick free kick, short went into Byron. Nottingham makes a run down the side of the 18-yard box, and he fires a really good ball low across the 6-yard box. Leeds just kind of lacking bodies in that area. I have to say that Joe Edwards' chance for Plymouth was a really good chance as well. Do really well. He picks up a second ball in midfield, drives forward, continues his run, and there's a little ball by Callum Wright played into the feet of Whittaker, and he flicks it round the corner into the run of Edwards in the 18-yard box, and he's just trying to open his right foot out to fire it low into that far corner. Doesn't quite execute the finish, but it's a decent opportunity for him.
FA Cup football on 5 Live in the wind and the rain here at Home Park tonight. Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. Motherwell with a second goal at home against Ross County in the Scottish Premiership. Rangers leading Aberdeen by a goal to 0. Plymouth clearing their lines. That's all they can do with that one. Out it goes. On the full, throw into Leeds on the right. Steve Crossman was mentioning it ahead of the game. Plymouth's impressive home record. Top scorers at home in the Championship this season. 36 goals in 14 games and 3 goals in each of their last 5 home games as well. Tonight at the moment 0-0. Plymouth clearing the ball again down the left. Goes out of play for another throw in to Leeds. And it's Joe Rodon who's got to go trotting back into his own half to collect that ball and play it up to Sam Byram so he can take this throw. So it's about 6-7 yards short of the Plymouth penalty area on the right. Heavy rain continues to sweep across the ground here, and as far as I'm aware in League One, Cambridge Bolton is yet to get back underway. So there was about 10 minutes of football played in that game and then the referee had to take the players off because the weather conditions getting so ridiculous. So Charlie Slater will keep us posted on that one. Goal kick for Plymouth. They take it short. Connor Hazard, the goalkeeper, in bright pink, clears with his left foot. Hardy jumps. He was looking for a flick on there. He got too much on the header. Beg your pardon, it's Callum Wright who got too much on the header, and he's nodded it out of play for a Leeds throw. Just inside the Plymouth half, wide on the right. Throw-in taken. And back it comes into the Leeds half, and the two centre-backs get involved. Roden, the Welshman, and Liam Cooper, the Scottish international. Meslier, the goalkeeper, who's got purple socks and purple shorts, and then it sort of blends into a slightly lighter purple and a kind of reddy orange colour, his goalkeeping top. Ball played forward by Meslier, foul in the centre circle. Leeds have a free kick. They wanted to go quickly again, and it wasn't quite on. More news from Cambridge, Charlie Slater.
Where the game has just been postponed. The referee and his linesman came out onto the pitch, threw the ball up in the air. One time it bounced, the rest of the time it didn't. The rain is set to continue here, or at least forecast to, until the early hours of the morning, and so the referee has had no other option but to postpone this game. It will have to be replayed in full at a future date. Away to my left, the Bolton players are applauding the efforts of the 1,000 or so Bolton supporters that have made the 3.5-hour journey. They'll have to make that again back to the northwest this evening, as they now make their way down the tunnel, those players. So it was 0-0 when the game was postponed here, or interrupted, after just 9 minutes of action.
Hardy's cross into the far post should have been finished by Callum Wright. He couldn't get the crucial touch, and a great chance goes begging for Plymouth.
Yeah, it's brilliant defending in the end from Sam Byron. Lee's cut open way too easy there. It's just a run into that right channel by Hardy, and he whips a really good ball across the 6-yard box. It's an awkward one for Byron. He gets a little bit of luck. He doesn't get the contact he's exactly looking for, but he does enough to stop Callum Wright tapping that in. Brilliant defending.
Leeds bringing the ball away down the left-hand side. Here's young Joseph playing as centre forward, but wide on the left at the moment. Strong lad, holds off a challenge, plays the ball into Glenn Kamara. Definitely Plymouth's best chance of the game. Important defending from Sam Byram. It's got the home fans going around us in this grandstand as well. I was just going to say to Charlie before he disappeared, had it been about 10 years or so ago, I'd have sent him down the road to my parents' house in Cambridge. They used to live about a couple of minutes from where Cambridge United play their football. He could have popped in for a cup of tea, but as they now live near me in Salisbury, that is absolutely no use to Charlie whatsoever. Ball forward from Leeds into the arms of the Plymouth keeper, Connor Hazard. This is a good game, Danny. I'm enjoying this.
It is very even, I have to say. Both teams look dangerous, particularly when they kind of get down the sides of the 18-yard box. Hardy making those runs. Been really impressed with the movement of Matteo Joseph. You know, he's a lone striker, a young lad. You can understand why Daniel Farker's spoken so highly about him. He's shown all parts of his game, where he's playing as that lone centre forward, but he's come short and shown good physical presence. He's looking to work both channels. He's got in down the left where he was slightly offside. He's got in down the right and forced a good save from Connor Hazard. So both teams looking threatening when they can get into the final third.
It's the former Welsh international Danny Gabbidon you're listening to on 5 Live tonight, former FA Cup finalist, as we keep reminding him this evening. Plymouth on the ball with Whittaker, lot on that pass. Hardy would have done well to control it, well intercepted by Rodon. Leeds have it. Kamara and Firpo play a little 1-2 inside the Leeds half. Firpo then sort of went as if he was going to play a ball down the left-hand side for the run of Joseph, but they've come back again, and Liam Cooper's forced back to his goalkeeper, Meslier. Meslier side puts one down the middle of the pitch. Kamara's able to turn and bring the ball forward. Low pass into the inside right channel to Pirro. Pirro wide to the right, and Byram gives it to Jaden Anthony, who's come looking for a bit of work. He's come over from the left, wide to the right. Wilfred Nyonto says, what are you doing over here? This is my station and here I go. Good run and good cross as well. Again, right across the face of goal, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. Matteo Joseph a little bit closer to that one. Plymouth have taken their goal kick quickly. Barley Mumba looking for an option. Pass down the right to Whittaker. Whittaker's given the ball away, and Leeds will start to play inside their own half. Henry Moran, what's happening at Southampton-Watford?
Southampton 0, Watford 0, but our first real chance of the game. Watford with it, deflected shot from Ismail Kone, looping onto the top of the crossbar. Southampton 0, Watford 0.
We are a minute or so short of the half-hour mark here at Home Park. Rain relentless. Cheers from the home fans because Ilham Mellier's passed the ball out of play. Throw in for Plymouth on the left. Leeds have struck the bar twice, but Plymouth have had their chances as well. Joe Edwards with one, which he didn't really connect with properly, and Callum Wright thought he was going to finish one off at the far post as well. But we're yet to see a goal in this game. The ball is back with Plymouth's keeper Hazard. Hazard with his left foot sends this one high downfield. No one there whatsoever for Plymouth, and Liam Cooper can let it run out for a throw. There have been goals at Coventry this evening in the FA Cup. Chris Coles.
2 of them, still Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. It's a remarkably open game. The rain falling, the ball pinging around, bouncing off defenders. Coventry the better. They've had decent chances to retake the lead. Hadji Wright threw on goal at an angle but never looked comfortable. Callum O'Hare shooting just wide from the edge, and Josh Eccles with half a sight of goal. But Sheffield Wednesday have threatened too. Ashley Fletcher with a header just over the bar. Former Coventry and Sheffield Wednesday striker Clinton Morrison watching on. This is a very good watch, surprisingly so, given the number of changes that were made before the game.
Yeah, it's end-to-end, to be fair. It should be, I'm going to say it should be 4-2 to Coventry. The amount of chances that they've missed, and Sheffield Wednesday have missed a couple as well. Been golden opportunities, but it's a good FA Cup tie. I think the next goal in this game is really important, Chris.
15 minutes until half-time, Ali. Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
Thank you, chaps. I can't remember the last 0-0 draw Clinton was at, because that's the thing, whenever you do with a game with Clinton, he promises you goals at the start of the game, and I always think he's going to fail one day, and I cannot remember the last time it's happened, and I bet he'll be racking his brains trying to think of the time as well. Barley Mumba takes a throw in for Plymouth, gets the ball back. Here's Joe Edwards. This is inside the Leeds half. Clever from Whittaker, let it run. Mumba's cross into that Leeds penalty. Ball might break loose. Shot driven by Sorinola. Brilliantly blocked by Rodon, up and over the bar. Corner for Plymouth.
Yeah, and again they work it really well, Plymouth. Down the right hand side, Leeds is left. Lovely flick from Whittaker, and then this time it's Mumbu who gets in behind. Dangerous ball across the 6-yard box, not dealt with, and the ball just drops invitingly to Sorinola. But I have to say, this is outstanding defending from Joe Rodon. The way he reacts, the ball goes behind him, and he's out quickly and just throws his body in front, gets something on that shot. Outstanding defending.
Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. Heading to Exeter very shortly. Plymouth corner. Well, not all, but pretty much all the outfield players gathered in the 6-yard box here at Home Park as Leeds try and defend their goal. Plymouth players trying to cluster around Ilan Meslier. Let's see what Plymouth can do with the corner. Still Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. No, referee still not happy. He's going to hold things up. Let's get to Exeter then. Sheridan Robbins.
Exeter 0, Peterborough 1. Harrison Burrows giving the away side a deserved lead from the spot. Ephron Mason-Clark was fouled in the area. He wanted to step up, but he left it for the captain. Harrison Burrows made no mistake. Exeter 0, Peterborough 1.
So Peterborough with a win will go to 59 points. The Bolton game at Cambridge abandoned this evening. They will remain on 58 points. It'll be another game in hand. Plymouth take the corner short to the corner of the box. Mumba drives a shot low into the side netting. Meslier had it covered. 32 minutes played. A very exciting FA Cup tie so far. It remains Plymouth 0, Leeds 0.
Yeah, Mumba will be disappointed this. He's got time and space to get that shot on target. He just take a short corner. We saw them work a really clever set piece on the weekend to beat Swansea. I think that was the first set piece that Plymouth have maybe scored from this season, and trying something different again there, and Mumba will be disappointed not to hit the target. But brilliant defender from Joe Rodon. He's been a standout player for Leeds this season, and he's all about that. He's one of those old school defenders who'll throw his kind of body on the line. You see some defenders in that position with their hands behind their back, and they don't really want to get hit with the ball, but that's a goal-saving tackle, goal-saving challenge from Rodon there from Sorinola.
Big games coming up, or big game initially coming up for Wales in March. 5 Live will be there. Thursday 21st of March, Euro 2024 playoff semi-final at home to Finland. If they can win it, they have a home game on Tuesday the 26th. We'll be there again for full commentary, and that would be against Poland or Estonia. John Murray, our football correspondent, by the way, is in Paris this week. Lucky him. The draw for the next Nations League competition is being made this week on Thursday, around about 5 o'clock. From 5 o'clock onwards, John will be there bringing you all the reaction. Scotland in Pot A for the next Nations League after their promotion. England in Pot B along with Wales. England were relegated from Pot A last time out, and Northern Ireland will be in Pot C. Meslier comes across. He's outside his penalty area. He's got to be careful here. Not being able to keep the ball in play, so all he can do is try and hit it as far as he can, but there's a replacement ball already been thrown into action. Meslier goes sprinting back to his goal line. Whittaker's tackled, and Plymouth get another throw.
Yeah, it almost felt like he felt the need to kind of get involved there, because they have had some joy, Plymouth, down Leeds' left-hand side. Ryan Hardy seems to be targeting Liam Cooper. He's constantly making runs into that position.
Barley Mumba chases a ball forward, bounces inside the penalty area. Melier very casually comes across and sort of flicks it with his hand above Mumba's head. Let Mumba go running past him and then caught it the other side. Last we heard, Rangers leading Aberdeen by 1-0. So what have Neil Warnock's men shown in response? Jane Lewis.
Well, it's still 1-0 to Rangers. Aberdeen, though, have had a shot on target. Jamie McGrath had a shot at goal. It was kind of right at Jack Butland, to be honest, but it was hit solidly enough, hit with a fairly solid shot. But Jack Butland did well to just get the ball away from any danger. It's all been Rangers before that. They're piling on the pressure. Their tails are up after that Rabbi Matondo goal. Still 1-0 to Rangers.
Plymouth 0, Leeds 0 here. Here's Grau, the Bulgarian, diagonal ball. Byram's first touch offside against Gnonto. Gnonto shoots on the turn across the face of goal, and that goes wide as well. Very nearly came off, and it was a lovely ping diagonal ball that found Gnonto, but he was just offside. Yeah,
Grau just getting the flamethrower out there. Initially hits one right to left, gets the ball back, hits one left to right, into the feet of Gnonto. And I think it's the ball that gets played in behind, where the linesman's flag then kind of goes up. It's Byron kind of making that overlapping run, not quite timing it, but just an example there of Grau's kind of passing range. You give him time and space in that central midfield area, capable of playing those passes.
Yeah, Ilya Grau is the Bulgarian signed from Werder Bremen, so it's his first season at Leeds. Previously this season I'd been calling him, I think Danny had as well, Ilya Gruev, and then I got corrected today. I think the Leeds in-house commentator has spoken to the man himself, and apparently it's like Cruyff even, but with a G. So it's Gruev, Ilya Gruev in the midfield for Leeds. Barley Mumba is fouled. Plymouth get a free kick, and Ashley Phillips plays back to his goalkeeper eventually, and Connor Hazard clears with his left foot, and Callum Wright lets that run through his legs, but Joe Rodon's right behind him, clears first time on the turn, and then there's a clumsy challenge from Sam Byram on Matthew Sorinola, so that will be a Plymouth free kick on the left. Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. We're into the last 10 minutes of the first half. Winners of this one, just to remind you, will face Aston Villa or Chelsea in the 5th round of the FA Cup this season. Aston Villa Chelsea is our commentary game on 5 Live tomorrow night. Nottingham Forest Bristol City will be in full on Sports Extra, and all the reaction to today's football news and tonight's football action in the Football Daily podcast, available for you on the BBC Sounds app. Free kick for Plymouth into the edge of the Leeds penalty area. Doesn't get much further though. Kamara passes the ball away with the outside of his right foot, and this looks dangerous from Leeds on the counter now. Pirro, if he can time the pass, finds Gnonto, but the ball's played behind him, so Plymouth do have a chance to get back and try and cover this. Gnonto on the dribble, beats a couple of men, heading for the byline, sliding challenge on him in the end from Randall, knocks the ball behind for a Leeds corner.
Yeah, he stuck to his task really well there, Randall. As that ball gets played out to Gnonto slightly behind him, he's kind of in a 1v1 situation. He looks like he's done him, comes inside, goes back outside, but doesn't go to ground until the right time, manages to stop that cross coming in on the byline. Excellent defending.
Corner for Leeds will come in from wide on the right. Matteo Joseph, the young centre forward, waiting in the middle. Barley Mumba is able to head that away at the near post. Junior Firpo is down inside the penalty area. Something's happened off the ball, but he's on his feet quickly again, so nothing will develop from that. Rain still falling, wind seems to have eased a little bit. Pitch is holding up perfectly though. Still Plymouth 0, Leeds 0, but there have been chances. Here's Grau to Kamara, to Rodon, back to Cooper. Cooper across to Rodon, who's miscued a pass and sliced it out of play for a throw into Plymouth inside their own half on the left.
I actually saw the Plymouth linesman water in the pitch before the game, maybe. I'm not sure that's a wise idea.
They call this place the Theatre of Greens, apparently. Did you know that, Danny? Have you heard that? No, the Theatre of Greens. Plymouth all in green. On the ball inside their own half. Given away. Chance again for Leeds to bring it forward. Grau encouraged to bring it forward, slides a great ball into Jaden Anthony, pulls it back onto his right foot, shots deflected, falls here to Pirro. Pirro walks into a challenge. Plymouth get enough bodies there. Joe Edwards is able to bring the ball away. Not only that, finds Hardy wide on the left, and suddenly Plymouth come in on the counter. Hardy's diagonal looking for Whittaker, headed away by Firpo, becoming a little bit basketball-like now, end-to-end, because Leeds are onto it, and away they go down the left with Jaden Anthony. Motherwell having a good first half at home against Ross County in the Scottish Premiership tonight. They now lead them by 3-0. Leeds have worked it to the right. Rodon plays out to Byram. Back to Rodon again. Just stops for a second inside his own half. Byram still available on the right. Sorinola is a couple of yards away, so Byram plays it back to Rodon, and Glenn Kamara steps in to help out, just short of the halfway line. Firpo's drifted in from the left-back position into a sort of midfield role in this Leeds build-up at the moment. But again, they've gone wide to the right. Nyonto just backpedaling on the right, waiting for a pass from Byram. Eventually he receives it via a first-time layoff from Matteo Joseph. Then he uses that speed. He's a short, stocky little speed through, comes whirling in from the right. The ball is passed out by Kamara to Byram. Kamara involved again, tries to slide a pass in down the channel, didn't quite get that right. Byram was in space, but he couldn't find him. Plymouth on the ball inside their own half, and Whittaker's popped up in the inside left channel. Lays it off to Callum Wright. Wright jinks back onto his right foot, finds Sorinola. Brendan Galloway just points to Sorinola and says, come back to the goalkeeper, we'll go back round again. Connor Hazard, the Plymouth keeper, wants it on his left foot. Digs one out, diagonally to the left. Sorinola goes down, no free kick. Leeds win it and will start to build inside their own half, and we've got 5 minutes remaining in the first half at Home Park. Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. This is a fourth round replay. There will not be a second replay, so if we are level after 90 minutes, we're not straight to penalties either. Extra time and then penalties. Nyonto stabs a little ball to Anthony, gets it back to Nyonto on the right. He's eventually tackled by Sorinola. Leeds win the throw. Danny Gabbidon.
Yeah, we've seen that quite a lot in the first half, where both Leeds wingers have played on the same kind of side of the pitch. Anthony over on that right hand side looking to combine with Nyonto. Wouldn't mind seeing those two actually swap maybe for the last couple of minutes of this first half. I feel Nyonto is much more effective on the left hand side when he's able to kind of go either way. He can go to the byline or cut inside and kind of get shots off. And when he plays on that right hand side, it's much more obviously difficult for him coming inside on his weaker left foot.
Low cross into the Plymouth penalty area, dealt with for now. Leeds have it again. Those white shirts now getting rather muddied on some of the players' bodies as Cooper plays to his right to Rodon. Wide to Nyonto. Back to Rodon. Rodon all the way back to his goalkeeper Melier, who loves, you can tell he loves to play with the ball at his feet. He's very happy, isn't he, to come way out of his penalty area. I think he quite fancies himself a little bit with the ball. Yes, I think that's what I'm trying to say, Danny.
Slightly more easier for him in the Championship, I think, doing that than what it was in the Premier League. Didn't actually think that was one of his main strengths when I was watching him as a Premier League player, but maybe that's a part of his game that has improved this season. Does look a lot more comfortable.
I remember watching his debut, actually. It was in the FA Cup third round when Leeds were a Championship team away at Arsenal and played extremely well that day, even though Leeds lost it by 1-0. Galloway coming forward from centre-back for Plymouth in their dark green kit. The ball is then hoisted wide to the right for Mumba to chase, easily headed away by Firpo for Leeds. Anthony throws a little dummy, shakes off the attentions of Joe Edwards, runs away from him, passes it to Pirro. Pirro plays back to Grauth, and Grauth with his left foot finds Rodon. Rodon, low ball out to the right to Nyonto. Nyonto plays across the halfway line to Grauth. Grauth to Kamara, and Kamara wide to Firpo on the left. Jaden Anthony challenged, lost the ball for a second. Mumba thought he'd won it back, and then he's tackled, and Leeds have it again. So Plymouth have to get back behind the ball and do a little bit of defending. Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. Last couple of minutes here in the first half. Rodon's ball through, Joseph chases, and Ashley Phillips stuck with him and just ran him off it there, and it's with the Plymouth keeper Connor Hazard. Back to Exeter Peterborough in League One. Sheridan Robbins.
Thanks, Ali. Yes, it's still Exeter 0, Peterborough 1. Somehow, Jack Aitchinson has missed a gilt-edged chance, one-on-one with the goalkeeper to draw Exeter level. But Balabic in goal managed to stick out a foot, and it is still Exeter 0, Peterborough 1.
Here's Liam Cooper for Leeds. Low pass from him. No real pace on it to Rodon. Happy to come back to Melier. Here comes Melier again. So he just comes creeping out of his penalty area. Points out to Sam Byram on the right. tries to throw a bit of a dummy, plays it to Rodon. Leeds don't think anything's on, so they come back yet again to their goalkeeper. Edge of the D, now he's going to go longer, Meslier, with the left foot. He does hit that ball very sweetly. It holds up in the wind, and Plymouth are able to win it, and Adam Randall finds Edwards. Here's Lewis Gibson, middle of the three centre-backs. Leeds pressing, close it down. Plymouth win a throw. Still 0-0. FA Cup fourth round replay. Some of the Plymouth fans on their feet and heading for the T-bars in the grandstand beneath us. Got our little meal voucher at the start of the night. Managed to squeeze in a quick proper Cornish pasty ahead of the game, but it's one of those, Danny, where you're just about to pick up a microphone and speak on air. You know when they're absolutely scalding hot inside, so you know you've got to eat it relatively quickly, but it's just too hot. Here's Kamara dribbling for Leeds up to the edge of the penalty area. Jaden Anthony, little dummy, chopped back onto the left foot. Shot, it is initially blocked. Kamara again goes for the cross to the far post. Nyonto heads it down here, edge of the box. Sam Byram takes a touch, prods it back to Nyonto. Nyonto's cross comes back off Nyonto in the end. Sliding challenge on him, and that'll be a goal kick for Plymouth. And as you can hear, the Plymouth fans love that little bit of defending. Half time, whistle has blown in all that. So there we go, Danny Gabbidon, 0-0 half-time. Leeds have struck the bar twice, but Plymouth have had their chances as well. Winners away to Chelsea or Villa in the fifth round, and we are no nearer to knowing who that's going to be.
We certainly ain't, but look, I think it's been a really good first half. Both teams have performed well. I think it's been pretty even. Leeds have probably looked the more likely, I would say, obviously striking the bar twice. But Plymouth have had their moments as well when they've been able to get in behind, in particular with the runs of Ryan Hardy, who seemed to have targeted Liam Cooper and got in on 2 or 3 occasions. There's been some nice little flicks as well from Morgan Whittaker. He's impressed, and Matteo Joseph, I think, leading the line for Leeds United. His movement's been fantastic. Obviously forced a really good save from Connor Hazard. So I think it's been a pretty even first half, and both teams have really been up for it. I think it's been a good intensity, good energy to that first half, and I think the fans have kind of fed off that as well. Yeah,
I think our summation here, Steve, is good cup tie despite challenging conditions. Plymouth 0, Leeds 0.
And great support despite challenging conditions, Danny, as well.
Yeah, well, I think we expected that. You know, Plymouth Argyle, they're a big football club. They were very well supported. We know Leeds United, what their fan base is like, whether it's home or away. You know, they always come in their numbers. So, you know, I think we were all expecting a good atmosphere tonight, and the weather hasn't kind of put pain to that at all. You know, it's been windy, it's been raining, but it's been a good quality first half from both teams, because not easy conditions, and sometimes, you know, as a player you need to maybe adjust your game a little bit to the conditions and stuff, and maybe you don't see as good of a game. But the first half has been very good. I think Plymouth have been really positive. They've been on the front foot. They've tried to kind of get after Leeds. They know Leeds look to play with a bit of a lower tempo, play up from the back, play themselves up the pitch. So they've had their moments where they've won the ball back and got the ball into good areas. It's just been that final bit of quality on the shot or the cross that's kind of let them down. And Leeds, we know the players that they have. Nonto on that right hand side, he's got to the byline 2 or 3 occasions, whipped in some dangerous balls. And as I mentioned, the youngster Matteo Joseph, I've been really impressed with him in his movement. He's kept that Plymouth back, to be really honest. So we're just missing that goal, Steve, to be honest with you. It's been a really good first half.
Right, go for a hot chocolate, you two, and we will have you back for the second half. Second half commentary, Plymouth 0, Leeds United 0. What about the tie between Coventry and Sheffield Wednesday, Chris Coles?
We're level at 1-1. It's been a very enjoyable first half here in the pouring rain, frenetic at times, both sides streaming forward at every given chance. Coventry striking first through Casey Palmer, worked the space really well on the edge of the penalty area, fired into the bottom corner, that on 3 minutes. Sheffield Wednesday level on 10 minutes. Bailey Kadamatri capitalising on a loose ball in the penalty area. The chances, though, have come relentless as the rain. Haji Wright, Callum O'Hare, Josh Eccles have all spurned big opportunities for Coventry. Ashley Fletcher missed a decent opening for Sheffield Wednesday heading over the bar. It's hard to believe we've only seen 2 goals, Clinton, and I quote you here a few moments ago: I will streak across this pitch if there are no more goals.
Yeah, because the chances I've seen and the misses I've seen, there's got to be more goals. They're creating loads of chances. Even Sheffield Wednesday, and they're not in good form in the Championship, but they've done well and they made a lot of changes. 9 changes this evening. Coventry should be winning the game. I think Casey Palmer has been the outstanding player on the pitch. O'Hare's been really busy, but the way Coventry played a 1 and 2 touch, but it's a really good cup tie.
Winners to play Maidstone at home in the next round, Steve, but we are no closer to knowing who that is. Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
Sorry, Clinton, you're going to streak if what happens?
Nah. I think Chris misheard me, mate. I said
you're really bad now.
Nah. I said if there's no more goals, I'll streak across the pitch, but you got to do it with me.
I was going to say, Clinton, come on, you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to embarrass yourself in Coventry tonight, for God's sake. It's a cold night as well.
It is a cold night. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean, mate?
Right, whatever it takes to avoid that, let's hope for that in the second half. Remember, you can listen on 5 Sports Extra to Southampton against Watford. Henry Moran.
Well, that's an image to be left with. Anyway, here, Southampton 0, Watford 0. The players battling the wind and the rain as much as they are each other. Ismail Kone has seen a deflected shot clatter off the top of the bar for Watford. Shea Adams should have scored when free in the 6-yard box for Southampton, but Bachmann made a good save. Southampton unbeaten in 23. They are the better side. They're yet to find a goal, though. Liverpool at Anfield await the winners. We're still awaiting an opening goal. Southampton 0, Watford 0.
As it stands, Peterborough United will be in the top 2 in League One tonight. They're at Exeter. Sheridan Robbins.
And they're leading by a goal to nil. A penalty from Hampton Burrows is the difference at the break. Ephron Mason-Clark actually won it, and he certainly wanted to take it, but his skipper said, no, thank you, that is mine. He made no mistake into the left-hand corner. In truth, Exeter haven't offered much, but they had a glorious chance to equalise late on when Jack Aitchison really only had to put it into an empty net, but Nicholas Bilibakic did just about enough to keep it out. It's Exeter 0, Peterborough 1.
Having got that first big victory, Fleetwood are leading again this evening in League One. They're 1-0 up at Bristol Rovers at half-time. Other scores for you: Port Vale 0, Leyton Orient 0, Stevenage 0, Reading 1. Cambridge Bolton, we were there earlier tonight. That game was abandoned because of the weather, and earlier Burton versus Cheltenham was postponed. Let's take you to the Scottish Premiership this evening. Motherwell 3, Ross County 0 is a half-time score. And what about Rangers against Aberdeen? Jane Lewis.
Rangers 1, Aberdeen 0. It's still that goal from Robbie Matondo that is separating the sides here. Aberdeen haven't really had many chances in front of the Rangers goal. Just that Jamie McGrath effort that I spoke to you about earlier that was well saved by Jack Butland. Neil Warnock, well, he's having a bit of a go at the fourth official, would you believe, because of a throw-in. A throw-in went against his side, and he was not happy. If that doesn't show that he's still got life in the old dog yet, I don't know what does. But yeah, Aberdeen toiling a little bit here. They're getting forward, they're seeing plenty of the ball, but Rangers defence and their goalkeeper Jack Butland just gathers that one. They're standing up well. It's still 1-0 to Rangers here.
If it stays like that, Rangers will still be second in the Scottish Premiership, but having played the same number of games, they will move level with Celtic on 58 points. In the National League this evening, the leaders Chesterfield are 1-0 up at Dagenham and Redbridge. If they go on to win that game, it will take them on to 80 points. Bromley, who are second, have got 58. Other scores: Halifax 0, Solihull Moors 2, Gateshead 0, Eastleigh 0, Wealdstone 0, Maidenhead 0. Wealdstone have had a man sent off, and Woking 1. Oxford City 0. We'll be back with the FA Cup football second half commentary on the way from Home Park after the news on 5 Live with Johnny Freeman.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Steve. Good evening. The King has been seen in public for the first time since his cancer diagnosis. He smiled and waved as he left Clarence House with Queen Camilla before flying to Sandringham in Norfolk. The monarch had a short meeting with his son Prince Harry after he flew in from California, but it's not thought the Duke will be seeing his brother, the Prince of Wales. Well, speaking to 5 Live this morning, the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said he was wishing the monarch a speedy recovery.
Obviously, like everyone else, shocked and sad, and just all our thoughts are with him and his family. And, thankfully, this has been caught early, and now everyone will be wishing him that he gets the treatment that he needs and makes a full recovery. I think that's what we're all hoping and praying for. And I'm, of course, in regular contact with him, and will continue to communicate with him as normal.
Elsewhere, the US Secretary of State has said he continues to believe an agreement can be reached to pause fighting in Gaza and free Israeli hostages. Antony Blinken has been in Qatar for talks ahead of a trip to Tel Aviv tomorrow. Frank Lowenstein was a Middle East peace envoy for Barack Obama. He reckons Secretary Blinken wants to prevent regional escalation.
The only way he'll ever really succeed on that is if the ceasefire in Gaza takes hold. So that, I think, is his second main objective here, is to pull everybody together and figure out what kind of deal would work for both the Israelis and Hamas. And then finally, if you can get that deal in place, I think what he's been talking to the Saudis about is some kind of a grand bargain involving normalization of relations with Israel.
A court in the US has ruled that Donald Trump does not have immunity from prosecution on charges that he plotted to overturn his 2020 election defeat. Judges decided that he should not be given any special protection as a former president. The Welsh Government has intervened in the running of the fire service in South Wales after a toxic culture of bullying, misogyny and sexual harassment was uncovered during a review. Ministers have appointed 4 commissioners to take over its governance from the Fire Authority. Labour has described government plans to offer dentists cash incentives to take on NHS patients and send teams to schools to treat children's teeth as stickering plaster politics. An email from ministers seen by the BBC sets out proposals to spend £200 million on dentistry in England. It follows a second day of long queues of people trying to secure treatment at a new NHS practice in Bristol. And planned strikes by driving examiners are being called off. The PCS union's members have made concessions over plans to clear a backlog of tests.
NFL on BBC Radio 5 Live. Super Bowl 58.
Snap, placement, it's good!
Sunday night at 11. The Kansas City Chiefs take on the San Francisco 49ers in Las Vegas.
Deep ball, middle of the field, it's pulled in!
Ready to get after it, man. Can't get any better, baby.
The Chiefs are aiming to win back-to-back titles, and the 49ers are looking to win their first Super Bowl since 1995. Super Bowl 58.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Extra time times 3 as it stands in the FA Cup tonight. Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Plymouth 0, Leeds 0, Southampton 0, Watford 0. Back at Home Park for second half commentary shortly. Chelsea will play Ajax in the quarter-finals of the Women's Champions League. If they go through, they will then play the winners of the tie between the holders Barcelona and Norwegian side Brann in the semi-finals. Remember, Chelsea have never won the Women's Champions League, and this is going to be the last chance for them under Emma Hayes, who leaves the club at the end of the season. They've been talking about the Champions League draw on the latest episode of Women's Football Weekly. It's out tomorrow. Ellen White says although it's not an ideal draw, they're going to need to beat the best to win the trophy.
I'm sure the players and Emma Hayes will be doing everything possible to kind of have that dream of being in the Champions League final. She was in the post-match interview when we were at Chelsea Man United, and she said that like she has won it before. She has had that moment, but obviously she doesn't want to put like a massive big thing on it. But you can know that deep down that she wants to win it, obviously. But yeah, I can imagine they didn't want to be on that side of Barcelona. And you know, it has been wild, the Champions League, hasn't it, this season for women's football. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching those and seeing what happens, really. But again, Ajax were in Bayern's group and we saw what happened in that group and it was crazy. So yeah, it's going to be tough, but you've got to win the Champions League. You've got to beat some of the best teams in the world.
That's Ellen White on the Women's Football Weekly podcast. The full episode out tomorrow morning on the Football Daily feed. You can find it on BBC Sounds or wherever you get your podcasts. Huge upset in the Asian Cup earlier this evening. Jordan knocking out South Korea to reach the final of the competition for the first time. Manny Jasmy's covering the tournament for BBC World Service. Evening, Manny.
Evening, Steve.
Well, the tone of your voice tells the story. I know South Korea have not been great, but this is a big shock.
Huge shock. To put it in European terms, it's like Luxembourg or Armenia reaching the final of the European Championship, with the caveats that they're slightly different competitions and strengths and weaknesses and so on. But this is only the third time that Jordan have reached the knockout rounds, and the first time they got to the semi-final. And they're in the final. It's huge. The fact that they beat South Korea today isn't huge. They thoroughly deserved it. They won all the 50-50s. Their defence had Son Heung-min, Hwang Hee-chan and Lee Kang-in in their pocket. And their forwards scared the life out of the Koreans with their pace. And one of those forwards is called Moussa Al-Tamari, who plays for Montpellier. And he scored what could be one of the goals of the tournament. He cut inside, went past 3 or 4 Korean defenders and bent the ball around the goalkeeper to make it 2-0. And of course, on social media, he is already being called Messi Al-Tamari.
Of course. How do you think this will be celebrated in Jordan? So what is their sort of football culture like?
Well, they have one big league derby between Al Faisali and Wydad that is fiercely contested, but I saw an article this morning saying the fans of both teams are going to unite for this behind the national team. They're fairly docile people, Jordanians. I mean, I've only been there twice, but based on my experience, that they're not as brash as the Gulf Arabs from Saudi Arabia or the Emirates. They don't have any oil in Jordan, and more importantly, they're running out of water. It's quite a poor country, and life there is quite hard. Many of them will have Palestinian relatives as well. So this will be a huge fillip just to distract them from the vicissitudes of everyday life. And I imagine there'll be plenty of horns blaring in Amman and Petra and elsewhere. And there are 70,000 Jordanians living in Doha. It must have been a great night there tonight. I don't know if you've ever had Jordanian food, but it might be worth finding a restaurant this week because you might get a discount.
All right, I'll give it a go, Manny. What about South Korea? I've heard their football described as zombie football. So just briefly, do you think this might be that for Jurgen Klinsmann? It's not particularly popular.
Well, zombie football refers to the fact that they just couldn't be killed off because they scored in stoppage time in 4 games in a row. But Klinsmann, yes, they reserved judgment on Klinsmann as they went through the rounds, but they're already asking him when he's going to go. They're not enamoured of Jurgen Klinsmann because he didn't want to live in Korea. One journalist who follows them described him to me as being like a Californian fitness consultant. So that gives you a sense of where he lies in their estimations.
Thank you, Manny. The BBC World Service's Manny Jasmy. We've had a goal at Ibrox. Jane.
Yeah, we have indeed, and it's good news for the new Aberdeen manager. Long ball in for Bojan Majowski. He got on the end of it. The ball came in from behind, and he kept his cool, and he has equalised for Aberdeen. It's Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1, and I have to say it was a great finish for the striker who's been in brilliant form. Now his 20th goal of the season. It's all to play for now here at Ibrox. 1 apiece.
I would not rule out another Neil Warnock set of stories before we go off air and Gordon Smart takes over at 10:30 tonight. A lot of that will depend on how much, if any, extra time we end up having in the FA Cup this evening. All ties level. Southampton, Watford 0-0, 5 Sports Extra. Coventry 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. We're bringing you second half commentary here on 5 Live of Plymouth 0, Leeds United 0 with Danny Gabbidon and Ali Bruce Ball.
Thank you, Steve. I've just been made aware that Les Dennis possibly might be listening to us this evening. I've been sent a post of his on social media which has tickled me, actually. He asked the question, why do football commentators still say hit the woodwork? And I think I did say that in the first half. Let me know if it's the post or the crossbar mown over.
Well, Ali, I can tell you, I have heard one football commentator, when the ball hits the post, just shout, aluminium! I don't think it'll catch on.
No. Well, if Les is listening, thank you for listening. Second half is underway, and both shots did indeed strike the crossbar. Back underway, Plymouth attacking down the left early in the second half. Ball drops, edge of the box, Adam Randall hits it on the volley, drags it wide, and it goes behind for a Leeds goal kick. The rain is still falling. Plymouth in their dark green kit this evening. Shirts, shorts and socks with gold trim and gold numbers on the black. Playing from right to left in this second half. And Leeds United, FA Cup winners back in 1972. They reached the 5th round last season and lost 2-0 at Fulham. They are all in white shirts with the blue numbers on the back, white shorts and white socks. Wilfred Gnonto on the ball for them. No substitutes on at half-time, so the same starting 11s, with Liam Cooper playing the ball across to Junior Firpo. Ilya Grau on it for Leeds in the midfield. Now that is a nice ball forward to Joel Pirro. He was trying to lay it off to the young striker Matteo Joseph, didn't quite get to him, and then Jaden Anthony blocks a clearance and the ball goes out for a Plymouth throw-in on the right. Plymouth's lineup: Connor Hazard in goal, 3 centre-backs, Ashley Phillips, Lewis Gibson, Brendan Galloway, Barley Mumba and Matthew Sorinola. Making his first start for Plymouth are the 2 wing-backs, Joe Edwards, Adam Randall in central midfield, and then it's Morgan Whittaker, Callum Wright and Ryan Hardy up front. And for Leeds, Ilan Melier in goal, Sam Byram, Joe Roden, Liam Cooper, Junior Firpo as a back 4, Ilya Grauv, Glenn Kamara, the central midfielders, Willie Gnonto, Joel Pirro and Jaden Anthony in support of Matteo Joseph. We were watching his effort, actually, Danny, that struck the bar, that was tipped onto the bar in the first half, and he worked the chance for himself really well, didn't he?
It was brilliant centre-forward play. Initially the run to get down the side of the defender, and then he shows really good composure because he cuts inside onto his left and then back out onto his right, and then there's a really good strike. He hits the strike with such power and accuracy, and it's an excellent save in the end from Conor Hazard. He's coming at him quickly and he gets that arm up quickly and just hits it onto the woodwork.
Careful. Andy Gillies, our producer, just reminded me that Terry Butcher, who I was sitting alongside for the Ipswich Maidstone game not so long ago, doesn't like hit the woodwork either, so we will get ourselves in trouble. Taking to Ibrox shortly. Leeds attacking though. Jaden Anthony with the cut back into the box. Grau on the turn. Joseph gets the shot away. It's blocked. Kamara then hits one with his right foot, and that is cleared up towards the halfway line, and Leeds doing some early pressing in this second half. They keep the ball in play as well with Jaden Anthony. Firpo's behind him. Kamara's making a run. Anthony's still going. Right-footed curling shot. Blocked on the edge of the penalty area. Ball comes flying back towards the halfway line. Leeds recycle it and come to the right. Few of the Leeds players have definitely changed shirts at half-time. Possibly all of them, actually. The mud-splattered white shirts of the first half have disappeared because Byram and Willie Gnonto look like they could be in a washing powder advert over on the right touchline here in front of us. Let's check in at Ibrox. Half-time, I believe, Rangers Aberdeen. Jane Lewis.
Yeah, it's half-time. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1, and the Neil Warnock era is well and truly up and running here. It was Rangers who went ahead in this one. It was Rabbi Matondo who pounced quickly on a Kel Roos save from Ross McCausland. Aberdeen really didn't have that much threat up top. They just caused a Jack Butland into one save, but then came a goal from nowhere, a long ball over the top, and Bojan Majowski did really well to hold off Connor Golson and finished off brilliantly as well. I'd love to be a fly in the wall at half-time for Neil Warnock's first Aberdeen half-time dressing room team talk. It's 1 each here at Ibrox.
Joel Pirro's shot, well saved by Conor Hazard, didn't quite find the accuracy he wanted. Had that gone flying towards the top corner, I'm not sure Hazard would have got there. Good power, it was high, and he managed to make the save. Danny Gabbidon.
Yeah, brilliant football from Leeds. They work their way up the field. Starts with the goalkeeper Meslier, and they work their way up the field. Eventually the ball into Pirro, and he spins away across this 18-yard box on that favoured left foot of his. Excellent strike, but again another good save from Conor Hazard. Made a couple of really good saves on the weekend in that win against Swansea.
Leeds have taken the corner short to Gnonto. Gnonto's driven cross, hits Joe Edwards. Leeds fans appeal for a handball. Players not interested though. Groive to Gnonto, pokes it into midfield to Kamara, back to Rodon, wide to Gnonto. Gnonto runs away from Mumba, whole wall of green shirts in front of him, so he just chips a little right-footed pass across the Plymouth half. Anthony is the one to collect it. Kamara 10 yards inside the Plymouth half, plays to his right, and Sam Byram's got a bit of space to work with. Low pass to the edge of the penalty area, cut out by Edwards. Mumba plays the pass forward. Callum Wright receives it from Whittaker and then fires it hard with his left foot down the left wing, but the ball's gone out of play. It curled out and back into play, and that will be a throw in to Leeds on the right. I was about to say all the FA Cup fourth round replays level at the moment. Not the case at Coventry anymore. Chris Coles.
Because Coventry are back in front, leading Sheffield Wednesday by 2-1, and this is a lovely goal. The two best players for Coventry on the night combining. Casey Palmer to Callum O'Hare, who incisively finds the bottom corner to give Coventry a 2-1 advantage. Clinton Morrison, that was a lovely goal.
Yeah, and you summed it up brilliantly, Chris. Them two have been the best. The pass from Casey Palmer, everyone thought he was going to shoot. Little reverse ball, great finish from Callum O'Hare. They deserve it, Coventry.
Coventry 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
So winners of that one at home to National League South team Maidstone United in the fifth round. Southampton-Watford still 0-0. Commentary of that one over on Radio 5 Sports Extra. Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. 6 minutes into the second half, and the noise inside this stadium continues unabated. About 17,000 it holds. Pretty much packed tonight for this FA Cup tie, and Leeds enjoying the better of the second half at the moment. Danny Gabbidon.
Knocking on the door here. They start the second half ever so well. Plymouth are finding it difficult to get hold of the ball. They find it difficult to get out of their half. Here they go again.
Yeah, here come Leeds again. Run being made by Firpo, receives the pass from Anthony, looks for the cutback, blocks at the near post, and it goes behind for another Leeds corner. It's one of those spells when you're in the Plymouth that you've just got to see this through, haven't you, Danny?
Yeah, you do. Leeds need to be better. They've got in behind this Plymouth Argyle team on a number of occasions, but it's just been that final ball not being able to pick anybody out in the middle. Firpo on this occasion, underlapping run. I have to say good defending in the end. Plymouth scramble and get bodies back, but he needs to pick someone out there.
Leeds corner coming in from the left, right-footed delivery to the far post beyond everyone, bounces out of play and goes behind for a goal kick to Plymouth. So Plymouth Argyle here trying to reach the FA Cup 5th round. They've only been past the 4th round twice in the last 39 seasons. So big night for them if they can do it. I remember the team 40 years ago, Division 3 team that made it all the way to the semi-finals and eventually ran into Graham Taylor's Watford and lost that semi-final by a goal to nil. Watford going on to lose the final to that brilliant Everton team back in 1984. But since then, Plymouth reached the 5th round 4 years later in 88, lost to Manchester City, and they reached the quarterfinals back in 2007. Here's Joel Pirro. Dummies an effort, then with his left foot, oh, that's a really good block. Out quickly to get something on that was Lewis Gibson. Plymouth throwing feet and legs and everything desperately at the ball to try and keep it out of their penalty area. Leeds come again though. Kamara away from Edwards, looking for runners again just outside that Plymouth box. Passes low to his left. Anthony on his right foot squeezes a pass through to Firpo. Mumba with a challenge, throw-in for Leeds.
Yeah, the football from Leeds is outstanding again, this time down this right-hand side, combination play between Byron and Nonto. Byron overlapping, this into Pirro again, similar kind of chance to the one just before. He gets on the edge of the 18-yard box onto his left and he's looking to let fly with a strike. I have to say, excellent defending again. Lewis Gibson, he's out quickly, he's in his face, gets a really important block on that.
8.5 minutes gone in the second half at Home Park. You're listening to it on the BBC this evening. The game available to watch on BBC One. We're here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. If you're on the move, you can always get your sport, your radio programmes, your podcasts available via the BBC Sounds app. As Steve was saying at half-time, the Women's Football Weekly will be there on the Football Daily feed for you tomorrow morning. Rugby Union Daily as well ahead of the second weekend of the Six Nations as Grove plays forward to Joseph, turns, shoots just wide of the right hand post. Another chance for Leeds, took a deflection, another corner for Leeds coming.
I like this boy a lot, I have to say. Really good centre forward play again. Grove driving forward, this time ball played into his feet, edge of the 18-yard box. He's aware of where people are around him, he knows he can get turned and then no other thought, short back lift, and he's getting the strike away as quick as possible, and that is not too far away.
There's Matteo Joseph, been at the club just over 2 years. They got him from Espanyol, he's only 20 years old. The corner comes into the Plymouth box, Barley Mumba's able to head it away at the near post and it goes behind for another corner. But the quote I saw from Daniel Farker was, this boy is the future of our club.
He looks very mature already, he knows when to run in behind, knows when to come short. When he comes into his feet, he's assured. Got good pace running in behind. On that occasion he's able to turn, spin, and he's no other thought but he's getting the shot off.
Patrick Bamford waiting on the bench tonight. Deep corner again to the far post, just too far for Firpo. Stretches, gets ahead on it but can only nod it into the Leeds fans behind the goal away to our right. First goal of the evening at St Mary's, Henry Moran.
And Southampton, unbeaten in 23, have the lead against Watford. Fine goal as well. Sekamara played through, slams it into the bottom corner. Southampton 1, Watford 0.
Commentary continues on Radio 5 Sports Extra. So Coventry leads Sheffield Wednesday 2-1. Southampton 1, Watford 0. Winners of that one away to Liverpool in the 5th round. Floated ball for Gnonto to chase down the right, can't quite keep it in play, and it'll go out for a throw into Plymouth in the left back position. 10 minutes gone in the second half, very much Leeds on top at the moment, with the likes, as I was just saying, Danny, of Bamford and Somerville and you know, Jorginho to come on if they want.
Yeah, a lot of quality on that Leeds bench tonight, and then you look at the Plymouth bench and not too many options for Ian Foster's not even able to name a full quota, so that is my worry for Plymouth. You know, if they start to get a little bit tired.
Here's Roden striding forward for Leeds, plays it to Kamara. Kamara's got Firpo streaking past him on the left. Firpo, low ball into the box, going to go behind for another corner to Leeds. Another goal at Coventry as well, Chris Coles.
Another goal for Coventry. They're firmly in control of this game now, leading Sheffield Wednesday by 3-1. That man again, Callum O'Hare, edge of the area, little step over, firing into the bottom corner. Coventry 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
Corner then for Leeds. Again, it's going to come in from their left flank. A couple of these we've seen have been overhit. They've been looking for that one to the far post for the knockback back across goal. Let's see what they do with this one. into the 6-yard box, headed away for now by Plymouth. Barley Mumba controls on his thigh and then thumps the ball downfield with his right foot, but all he can do there is, like I said, knock the ball out of play. It didn't actually go out of play. Wind curled it back in and kept it in, and Kamara plays it down the left. Cruyff lays it off to Anthony, comes dancing in from the left, back to Kamara, support from Firpo on the outside. Back to Kamara, pass can't find its way through those green shirts. Ryan Hardy tries to win it just short of the halfway line. Callum Wright gets onto the layoff. Wright, chased by Gnonto, plays it back, misses his teammate, then he drags Gnonto back as Gnonto was trying to get to that ball inside the Plymouth half. Gnonto complains and says that Callum Wright should be booked. He does get booked, but Gnonto actually doesn't need to tell the referee to do that. I think the ref is going to do that anyway.
Well, possibly.
No?
You never know these days, do you? But look, he's dragging the arm there. Gnonto's looking to get after the ball and set Leeds on the counter-attack, and he's just dragging at that left arm. It's a definite foul. It's just a natural reaction from you as a player, to be honest with you. You just, you look at the referee and try and make sure that he gives the foul. But yeah, as you say, he probably would have given that one. It was pretty obvious.
Fleetwood second bottom in League One, a 2-0 up away to Bristol Rovers this evening. Jayden Stockley has scored the second goal for Fleetwood. Goals flying in at Coventry in front of Chris Coles.
You can safely write Coventry against Maidstone in the 5th round of the FA Cup. It's now 4-1 to the home side. Hadji Wright, header from 6 yards. Clinton Morrison, a devastating 6-minute spell for Coventry, has surely won them this game.
Yeah, O'Hare with the third and then Hadji with the fourth. It's a great ball from De Silva, and he needed that. Hadji missed a lot of chances, but 3 yards out. It's poor defending from Sheffield Wednesday. Ali, I told you we get the goals, and hopefully you get one, mate. We'll give you a few.
Yeah, he called it.
Yeah, you and I, Clinton, I think we're doing Aston Villa, Manchester United on Sunday. You there?
Oh, we'll get goals, yeah.
We get goals, will we?
Yeah, we'll get goals. I'm predicting that already. Easy,
he gets all the best games. That's why he gets the goals.
Come on.
Come on, mate.
Thank you, guys. Chris and Clinton watching Coventry against Sheffield Wednesday, but Coventry, it sounds like, heading safely through to round 5, leading by 4-1. It's going to have to be some comeback from Sheffield Wednesday. Southampton leading Watford by 1-0. Tomorrow night, Aston Villa, Chelsea in full on 5 Live. Kicks off at 8 o'clock, and on Sports Extra tomorrow night, Nottingham Forest against Bristol City. 7:45 kick-off, full commentary. Winners of that one at home to Manchester United. Sheridan Robbins, I believe, has seen a red card at Exeter Peterborough.
Yeah, and Exeter 0, Peterborough 1, but Peterborough now down to 10 men. Michael Olakibe seen yellow for the second time early in this second half. A really silly challenge on Vincent Harper inside his own half. He didn't need to make it. Referee made no mistake and brought out his red card. So Posher goal to the good, but they're now down to 10 men. Exeter 0, Peterborough 1.
With Cambridge Bolton abandoned after about 10 minutes play this evening in League One due to conditions being totally and utterly unplayable. Last I saw, Reading were 1-0 up away to Stevenage in League One, and Fleetwood 2-0 up away to Bristol Rovers. As we told you, Burton Cheltenham was postponed tonight because of a waterlogged pitch. Port Vale 0, Leyton Orient 0, latest in League One as well. Walsall Morecambe in League Two was scheduled to go ahead tonight, and that game also postponed. Half an hour left of this one. At the moment, we're heading for extra time and potentially a penalty shootout. Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. Back to Southampton, another goal, Henry Moran.
Southampton have got a second, and what a second. Sagamara with his second of the night, smashing the ball in from distance. Top corner, near post. Daniel Backman, the Watford goalkeeper, picked himself off the ground, signalled he had to come off. Southampton 2, Watford 0.
OK, so Southampton 2 ahead and Coventry comfortable. This one, though, as I say, could potentially go to extra time. Our producer Andy Gillies spotted a post from, I think it was GWR, Great Western Railway, just informing football fans at the game tonight that if the game does go to extra time, it was basically giving the fans the last train times and saying you're going to have to leave the game early if you want to get home, which is just a nightmare for football fans. I'm sure lots of Leeds fans have made the journey via the roads, which must have taken them a good 6-7 hours today as well. So you've got to praise them for their unstinting support of their football club. Leeds have won a free kick. Willie Gnonto, I tell you what, he's doing a lot of telling the referee what to do, and sometimes when you start doing that, you can get yourself a yellow card.
Yeah, you make a very good point. When he is that type of player, he can get frustrated. When he's getting fouled or constantly getting fouled and kicked, then can't let his frustration show, but he doesn't need to do that because Leeds are totally dominant at the minute. Plymouth could do with getting a spell of possession themselves. It's about kind of weathering the storm a little bit here. You just feel that Leeds are starting to kind of turn the screw, looking for that goal. The spaces are starting to open up a bit more now. Plymouth not looking as compact as they were in the first half. Leeds looking to take full advantage of that.
Yeah, Ian Foster, the Plymouth boss, recognises that as well. There was just a very urgent sort of clapping of the hands together. There it goes again, and a couple of words with the players close to him. He knows his team are under the cosh at the moment. They've won a throw. Sorinola's just taken a knock in that challenge. Just took a slight whack in the face. Nyonto apologises. Nothing deliberate in that. And Plymouth will get the throw on the left. 17 minutes gone in the second half. Plymouth 0, Leeds 0, with the rain continuing to swirl around in the gusty wind here at Home Park this evening. Hardy's tackled. Oh, Adam Randall's going to try a shot from inside his own half, but it's turned out to be an incredible pass outside of his right foot, and Barley Mumba does keep it in play. Plymouth fans celebrate that. Back it comes to Morgan Whittaker's left-footed effort. That's blocked. Ball comes out of the Leeds penalty area. Pirro lays it off. Played forward to Kamara. Kamara back to Groive. And Groive gives it to Kamara. Green Army in full voice in this grandstand at the moment. Their team needs them as well. Leeds playing it around inside their own half. Groive to Kamara. Kamara back to the centre-back Cooper. Cooper across to Joe Roden. Roden wants Sam Byram on the way down the right. Plays the ball to him. Forward to Nyonto. Sorinola immediately tries to close him down. Nyonto to Byram. Back to Roden again. Roden just goes for a pass across his own half to Cooper. Cooper quickly controls it. Gets it out to the left to Firpo. Firpo's measured pass down the line to Jaden Anthony. Still no sign of any substitutes as yet, and we've almost reached the 20-minute mark in the second half. A couple of the lead subs coming back from a warm-up, so we'll have to see whether they appear shortly. Here's Nyonto, goes bustling across the Plymouth half from right to left. Kamara. Nice smooth ball out to Byram, who's tripped there by Callum Wright. Leeds win a free kick. I'd say about 30 yards from goal, level with the right corner of the Plymouth penalty area as Leeds attack that goal away to our right. Here's Danny Gabbidon.
No real need to do that. Callum Wright, it's a clumsy foul to give away. Byram's kind of cutting inside. He's running into bodies. He just dangles that right leg out and trips Byram over, and that after defender. A difficult situation.
Plymouth 0, Leeds 0. I mentioned the commentaries coming tomorrow night in the FA Cup. Premier League's back at the weekend across the BBC radio networks. 3 o'clock commentary Saturday afternoons, Liverpool Burnley. 5:30 Nottingham Forest Newcastle. That one will start on Sports Extra because we've got England Wales in the Six Nations, which kicks off at 4:45. So once that is over, Nottingham Forest Newcastle will then pop up on 5 Live as well. 2 commentaries on 5 Live's Premier League Sunday. 2 o'clock West Ham Arsenal. 4:30 Aston Villa against Manchester United. Clinton Morrison has promised goals. Here's the free kick for Leeds. Jaden Anthony's ball into the penalty area, headed up and away. Nyonto challenges. Sorinola beats him to it, volleys it away. Cooper comes chasing back for Leeds. Leighton Orient, I see, 1 up away to Port Vale with half an hour to play in League One, and Glenn Kamara rolls a ball across the halfway line to his midfield partner Groive. Forward to Kamara again. Kamara running diagonally from left to right. Here's Jaden Anthony. Anthony's on the right, Nyonto's on the left. Anthony's lost it. Plymouth get a rare sight of the ball, and they've immediately lost it as well. Byram infield. Kamara strokes a pass to Nyonto, edge of the box, hits the shot and finds the bottom corner. Fabulous finish from Wilfred Nyonto. 2 goals in 2 games for him, right in front of the Leeds fans. Such a low backlift, but a stinging shot into the bottom corner. And could that be the goal that takes Leeds through to the 5th round of the FA Cup? Plymouth 0, Leeds 1.
Well, it's the goal that they thoroughly deserve, Leeds United. They've been knocking on the door. They've been the better team since the second half began, and this is a brilliant finish from Nyonto. But the goal comes from Leeds winning the ball back quickly. They've been excellent in possession, but they've also stepped up the press second half. Plymouth have found it really difficult to get out of their half. They win the ball back quickly. Lovely interplay off that right-hand side. Ball into the feet of Nyonto on the edge of the 18-yard box. And as you say, Alistair, the ball's actually stuck under his foot, so he can't really get that leg back. It's a brilliant goal. I don't know how he gets it through it. His body's in front of him, the ball's stuck under him, and he just whips it to the keeper's right. Conor Hazard on this occasion, absolutely no chance.
That Danny's got
top
power
volley.
and placement, hasn't it?
Top
Brilliant.
volley. I think it actually goes to the legs of Phillips, the defender. Maybe he means that as well. It's a brilliant finish.
Might well be listening to us and watching the pictures on BBC One this evening, so they've got to see the goal in all its glory. Fabulous finish from Wilfred Gnonto. Plymouth 0, Leeds 1 midway through the second half. Winners away to Aston Villa or Chelsea, who play tomorrow night. And obviously, if that does end up being Chelsea, there's going to be a lot of talk about the 1970 FA Cup final, which went to a replay. A couple of very feisty games between those two. Chelsea eventually winning that cup 2-1 in the replay. Leeds ahead here. Pirro's going to try a shot from the edge of the box. Block. The ball loops up in the air, drops in the Plymouth area. Gnonto just puts his body in the way of Sorinola. Both players took a slight knock there. Leeds have won themselves the corner, and as soon as they got the first goal, they're back on the front foot and they're looking for a second. Yeah, that's the way Leeds United play. But I was saying to Alistair at half-time, you almost felt as if Leeds needed a transition with the players that they've kind of got. They need to find a bit more space, and just wondered if Daniel Farke said at half-time, look, when we lose the ball, let's hunt the ball down a lot quicker than what we did in the first half. Plymouth have the ball, they're looking to play out. Byram steps in, wins the ball back, they catch Plymouth expansive and open. And don't get me wrong, Gnonto's got a lot to do. What a finish it is. Corner from Leeds into the far post. Difficult one there for Ashley Phillips to deal with, hanging in the air, and Plymouth haven't got it clear just yet. Now it is volleyed away by Morgan Whittaker, who's not had much of a look for Plymouth this evening in terms of getting in on goal and trying to add to his very impressive tally of 17 goals this season. Jaden Anthony with pace on the left. Good run, poor cross, and out it goes for a goal kick to Plymouth. They trail Leeds by a goal to 0. What's going on up the road at Exeter in League One? Sheridan Robbins.
Peterborough still lead Exeter by a goal to 0. They're down to 10 men, and it's Boyd Exeter, that is for sure. Vincent Harper with an absolutely brilliant volley that was parried away by goalkeeper Bilikapic. He then went down injured. We had a bit of a stoppage. We're back underway, but Exeter very much in control now. It's Exeter 0, Peterborough 1.
And how's Neil Warnock enjoying things at Ibrox this evening? Jane Lewis.
Well, so far so good. Really, at 1-1 it is here at Ibrox. Rangers plenty of possession, but just like in the first half, they've been really wasteful in front of goal. Dessers had a shot blocked, and Tavernier, the Rangers captain, blazed over from the edge of the area. It's still 1 each here at Ibrox.
Archie Gray, 17-year-old, getting ready to come on for Leeds United, and Danny and I both. I saw him play actually, Danny, in the third round. I have seen him play before. He is a very exciting young talent.
It's going to be interesting to see what position he actually plays when he comes on.
Hazard under pressure inside his own penalty area, the Plymouth keeper delivers a good pass down the left to Sorinola. Callum Wright trying to get away from Roden. Roden's pulled the shirt back, had to do that. Plymouth were away. They've had so few opportunities in this second half. That'll be frustrating for them. Roden's taken the yellow card. Danny's going to tell me that's good defending.
Excellent defending. He's got two forward runners. Roden steps in, doesn't win the ball, and he's away. Callum Wright's away, and he's got runners in front of him. He just drags the shirt, pulls him down, just halts the attack. First time the ball's gone forward for Plymouth, and it's actually kind of stuck.
Joe Gelhardt getting ready to come on for Leeds as well. Ball through the middle here, offside flag goes up. Hardy hits it with his left foot. Meslier saved it anyway, and so Leeds will have a free kick, and Plymouth getting ready to make their changes too. But as Danny was saying, I mean, Daniel Farke has relative riches to turn to on the bench here, whereas Plymouth have only been able to name 5 outfield players, and most of those kids really who've rarely played for the first team. So Glenn Kamara's the first to come off for Leeds, which would suggest we're going to see Graham midfield, Danny.
Midfield, yes.
Okay.
I'm sure he'd be happy with that as well.
Yes.
Look, he's done a great job at right back, Archie Gray, but I'm sure he'll appreciate getting some minutes in his favoured position.
21-year-old Joe Gelhardt, so much promise as well for him, has had a more difficult season for Leeds this season. He is on for Wilfred Gnonto. So Gnonto has done his bit for this evening. Gelhardt starts wide on the right. Archie Gray is tall. He's got dark black hair. And for those who don't know their Leeds United, he is son of Andy Gray, grandson of Frank Gray, and great-nephew of Eddie Gray. So there is plenty of Leeds heritage in that family. Right, Freddie Isaka, young Welsh striker, is coming on for Plymouth here. Plymouth 0, Leeds 1. Take you back to Ibrox briefly, Jane Lewis.
Yeah, Kyle Roos in the Aberdeen goal just produced a brilliant double save, I have to say. First of all, he kept out Matondo, and then the ball broke from that save to Dessers. He had a go as well, and guess what? Roos saved it brilliantly too. 1 each still here at Ibrox between Rangers and Aberdeen.
Plymouth 0, Leeds 1 in the FA Cup 4th round replay. We're into the last 20 minutes of this game. Southampton are leading Watford by 2-0. Commentary of that one continues over on Sports Extra, and Coventry very comfortable at home against Sheffield Wednesday, leading by 4-1 in that replay. Sam Byram, here's Gelhardt, first involvement of the evening. Nice bit of skill, good pass to Pirro. Pirro, edge of the penalty area, tries to work it on the left foot again, just about holds on to possession, plays the pass low to Firpo. Firpo's layoff to the left-hand side. Anthony twisting and turning again away from Plymouth defenders, looking for a teammate. It's Archie Gray. He's going to hit one well wide of the target. Good power, but off target and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, not quite warm yet, Archie Gray, but definitely worth taking the strike on. Good wing play initially on that left-hand side by Anthony's twisting, turning, looking for space. They end up recycling possession back out to that central area, edge of the 18-yard box, and Archie Gray gets the ball out of his feet, and he's just looking to curl one into that far corner. Never really troubling Connor Hazard in the end.
Here is Hazard, clears with his left foot. Hardy is able to chest the ball down, but Rodon's in there immediately, hooks it away with his right foot. Archie Gray takes control of things, the 17-year-old for Leeds. Plays back to Firpo. Cross to Gray. Gray wide on the left. Back to Cooper. Cooper in turn to the goalkeeper Meslier. Meslier on to Rodon. Rodon plays to Byram on the right. Byram gives it straight back to the Welsh international. And Rodon passes across the face of his own penalty area to Cooper. It's very precise pinpoint passing from Leeds at the moment. Gray showing a bit of strength on the ball. Running Joe Edwards off it, continuing forward for Leeds. Firpo tries a little dribble. He's tackled. Bali Mumba wins it. Then Firpo gets a challenge in. Mumba's forced back into his own half, but then is able to find Randall, and Plymouth get out down the left. Here's the 17-year-old for Plymouth. This is Freddie Isaka. Freddie Isaka's going to try and go on the outside to beat Byram. Gets past Byram, given a little nudge there. Goes down. Referee says no penalty. That's a goal kick, and Isaka might have been, if he could have done, been better advised to stay on his feet and try and get the cross in.
No chance. He is grabbing the shirt, but not enough for me. Tries to go to the byline, tries to go past Byram. Isaka, that left arm comes out from Byram, just knocks him off balance. Yes, there is contact, but not enough for the penalty.
In terms of your Six Nations commentaries, I mentioned England-Wales 4:45 on Saturday. Sports Extra 2 o'clock on Saturday for Scotland against France, and then on Sunday Ireland-Italy kicks off at 3. That will also be over on Sports Extra. And as our rugby union correspondent Chris Jones was pointing out to me a couple of days ago, you are able to listen to all 15 games in the Six Nations, every single game on 5 Live, Sports Extra, or via the BBC Sports website and app during the Six Nations. Rugby Union Daily podcast there for you every day as well. We were hearing from Chris before this game. They've been in the England camp, so we'll be listening to that one tomorrow. On today's pod, Sam Warburton, former Welsh great, in conversation with Chris. 15 minutes to go here. Still Plymouth 0, Leeds 1. Jaden Anthony plays back to Liam Cooper, and Cooper comes back to Meslier, and Leeds are controlling this cup time. They've been very, very impressive in this second half. So they are the ones at the moment heading for a date in the 5th round away to Villa or Chelsea to play tomorrow night. Byram back to Rodon. Rodon spinning ball at his feet. Plays it back to his goalkeeper Meslier. Ryan Hardy just holds off, so Mellier's got time here. Drags a low, skidding pass to Byram on the right. Forward to Gelhardt. Gelhardt tried to let it run across his body to beat Sorinola. Sorinola does enough to stop him. Oh, it's loose from Randall in the Plymouth half. Pirro's onto it for Leeds. Takes it forward, overruns it, and Lewis Gibson able to come forward and make the challenge.
Good defending. Steps in. If he doesn't step in, it's not a bad touch from Joel Pirro, and he's maybe getting a strike or playing it wide, but he steps in. Really good interception, vital interception in the end after Randall gives the ball away.
Can Plymouth work themselves just one chance in this second half?
Yeah, it's been difficult. They've just not been able to get up the pitch, not had enough possession. Found it difficult pressing Leeds as well. Leeds are just stroking the ball about. They're playing through them at will, really. Got to find a way of getting a bit of control, possession, getting those forward players into the game, as you mentioned, Alistair. We haven't heard nothing really from Whittaker in the second half.
Rain continues to team down here at Home Park, and you can see it swirling under the floodlights, which is sort of interspersed along the roofs of the stands here. It's almost like Hollywood rain. It doesn't look realistic, the rain. It's sort of like people are just chucking buckets of the stuff down onto the field. Plymouth have won a free kick into the last 15
Do you want to go down there and check if it's real or not?
No, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy under the roof up here. Thank you very much indeed. Another change for Plymouth. Caleb Roberts is coming on, so it's another teenager being thrown into this game. 18-year-old midfielder. Matthew Sorinola is the man to come off, and the Plymouth fans welcoming him. That was his first start for the club. He's just joined, having previously been playing his football for Union Saint-Gilloise in Belgium, on loan to Swansea last season, playing under Russell Martin, who's now the Southampton boss, of course, and Southampton on this amazing unbeaten run, leading Watford by 2-0 in their FA Cup fourth round replay. So that's looking like it's going to be Liverpool-Southampton in the fifth round. Plymouth free kick. Can they fashion a chance? Whittaker's delivery with the left foot, curling into the far post, knocked back across goal and into the back of the net. Fabulous set piece from Plymouth, and they're back in this game. Brendan Galloway's the man to get the touch from a couple of yards out. The initial delivery from Whittaker, just wondered whether it might have been overhit, but it was latched onto at the far post. All it needed at that point was to be knocked back across goal. That it was. Galloway rushing in. Plymouth 1, Leeds 1.
Well, we were wondering where the equaliser might come from. They've been second best for most of the second half. It's a really well worked set piece. I'm the same as you. I thought initially Whittaker's free kick was overhit. Maybe Leeds do too. They're definitely onside. Meslier, could he possibly come for it? He doesn't. And it's Phillips on that far post. Darts on the far post. And he just volleys it back across goal. And Brendan Galloway's there. I think it actually hits his chest, but he's no more than 3 or 4 yards out. He's just got to help it into an empty net. What a brilliant response. Didn't see it coming, I have to say.
No, I think that's quite a cool finish actually from centre-back Brendan Galloway, because that comes at him fast, and he's just got to make sure, as you say, Danny, just gets enough on it, the right part of his body on it to stick it in the back of the net. Plymouth haven't been in this game in the second half, and now suddenly they've got an equaliser, and extra time looks more likely. Just over 10 minutes remaining plus added time. Plymouth concede a free kick. Ashley Phillips is going to get booked for the challenge on Jaden Anthony. Goal at Exeter, Sheridan Robbins.
And it's gone to the home side. Exeter 1, Peterborough 1, a Reece Cole free kick. Dion Rankin looked like he might have placed it into the bottom corner, but it has been given to Reece Cole from the original free kick. A wonderful delivery. Exeter 1, Peterborough 1.
Another goal at Southampton as well, Henry Moran.
That'll do it for Southampton. They lead by 3-0. Che Adams has 10 for the season. Free kick curled in, near post, flicked into the bottom corner. Southampton 3, Watford 0.
So Henry's going to be back home in time to tuck himself up at a decent time, have a nice hot drink and get some kip. We could be here for a while at Home Park. Plymouth 1, Leeds 1. Brendan Galloway, the centre-back, Zimbabwean, on the score sheet for Plymouth Argyle. And here's Archie Gray trying to get Leeds back on the ball, moving forward, which they have been doing for most of this second half. Jaden Anthony wide on the left, followed here by Caleb Roberts. Roberts has got hold of his left arm, and Anthony is sort of making that clear to the referee by trying to shake him loose as he played his pass back. Leeds still have it. Patrick Bamford getting ready to come on and try and get Leeds back in front in this cup tie. Ball is laid off by Firpo to Groive. Cross comes in from the left, headed away by Randall. And Anthony's going to let that ball run out of play for a throw into Leeds.
Yeah, really pleased actually for Brendan Galloway. Big moment for him. Someone who's been so unlucky over the last kind of 2 or 3 seasons, suffering some really bad injuries. Obviously showed great promise as a youngster, getting that big move to Everton. And I've had injuries myself through my career, and I know how mentally taxing that can be on you. So for him to come back and have this moment tonight, he'll be absolutely delighted. But Leeds just switch off.
Yeah,
I think Meslier can come for that as well. He doesn't, stays on his line. Yes, they switch off defensively. Who's tracking Phillips on that far post? It's a really good nod back, and Galloway's in the right place at the right time.
Big guns coming on for Leeds. Jorginho Ruta and Patrick Bamford are both on. Matteo Joseph, and I think is that Jaden Anthony, who's the other player who's made way. He seems to be hobbling slightly as he's making his way round the pitch towards us. Seeing Patrick Bamford in FA Cup action takes me back to the third round win at Peterborough, where he scored one of the best goals I think I've ever seen live, and here he is getting onto the ball straight away in the inside right channel. Got a lot to do here. Lets it down by the byline, tries to get a cross in and wins Leeds a corner, but that takedown from the Ampadu ball on his chest and then hitting the volley as he turned, the dipping volley into the top corner, was very, very special indeed. Corner for Leeds. So 8 minutes plus added time remaining, extra time on the way as things stand. Coventry 4, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Corner comes in from the right, delivered at pace, drops inside the Plymouth penalty area. Chased out of the box by Roden, keeps it for Leeds, plays it back to Jorginho, wide on the left. He thinks the last touch there came off a Plymouth player. He's right, and that's going to be another corner for Leeds. The attendance has just gone up tonight, just under 16,500 on a horrible, wet, windy, wild night in Plymouth.
Absolutely outstanding from both sets of fans. I'm just wondering what time that last train is.
Well, yeah, that's it. I don't know whether Andy's able to find the message for us again. He's going to have a look, and I can actually give you the details. But some fans are going to be really, really torn if it goes to extra time. Corner comes in, flicked on, drops to Jorginho, couldn't control it. Ashley Phillips hacks it away for Plymouth. They go chasing that ball upfield. Archie Gray heads it towards the Plymouth goal. Then it's cleared, knocked back downfield by Gelhardt. Bamford chases, and the ball goes out of play for a throw into Plymouth. Back to Southampton, Henry Moran.
Well, you mentioned the trains. There's just been an announcement here that the 10:30 ferry to the Isle of Wight's been cancelled. Boos all around St Mary's. Southampton 3, Watford 0.
Travel updates as well as the football tonight on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Aston Villa Chelsea's our commentary tomorrow, so the winners of that one meet the winners of this one. Kicks off at 8 o'clock. We've got Nottingham Forest Bristol City in full on Sports Extra. Tomorrow night kicks off at 7:45. Free kick Plymouth inside their own half. Andy's just getting the train details here for anyone potentially listening inside the ground. So hang on, goal at Exeter, we'll deal with it in a second. Sheridan Robbins.
It's been turned around. Exeter lead by 2-1. The 10 men of Peterborough have fallen apart. Another free kick and into the near post by Czech Diabate. It's Exeter 2, Peterborough 1, 10 minutes to go.
So Portsmouth and Derby, the top two, remaining untroubled this evening in League One. Bolton's game at Cambridge abandoned after 10 minutes because of the weather, and now Peterborough 2-1 down at Exeter. Connor Hazard plays it forward from the free kick. Closing stages of this FA Cup tie. Ball's loose just outside the Leeds penalty area. Joe Roden plays back to his goalkeeper Meslier. Meslier clears first time, and Ashley Phillips, young defender on loan from Tottenham, is able to head it away. Jorginho, long-sleeved white shirt, long strides as well, take him across the Plymouth half. He's run into trouble there though. Isaka makes the tackle. 18-year-old Caleb Roberts steps in to help Plymouth out, being chased by Firpo, wins Plymouth the throw. So here was the message from GWR. Question is, going to watch Argyle versus Leeds tonight. Don't forget the last trains from Plymouth tonight leave at, the one to Penzance goes at 10:38, and the one to Exeter St David's goes at 10:24. There's a replacement bus service at 11:15. They say if the match goes to extra time penalties, you'll need to leave early or find alternative transport. Good luck.
Oh dear.
5 minutes remaining. The rain seems to be getting heavier. Drama is building. We're heading towards extra time. I don't think, neither manager particularly keen on that. Particularly Leeds, I'm thinking, though, Danny, with the old promotion push this season. They won't be mad keen on 30 minutes here in the pouring rain.
No, you'll be disappointed, Daniel Farke, with a goal conceded, because they've dominated this second half. But you have to defend set pieces correctly. Credit to Plymouth, they kept it at 1-0, kept themselves in the game.
There's one for Ryan Hardy to chase. Liam Cooper's got it covered. It might run to Whittaker. Sliding challenge on Whittaker. Breaks for Plymouth though. Here they come again. Lovely skills from Caleb Roberts. Unfortunately he slips and the ball is taken off him. Groyve sees it opening up for Leeds on the left hand side. Jorginho waits for the pass to arrive. Randall tries to get back at him for Plymouth. He's in front of Jorginho, couple of step overs, tries to beat him on the outside, heading for the byline down the left, gets the cut back in but not enough pace on it to find Bamford, and the long legs of Ashley Phillips bring it away for Plymouth. Isaka starts to make a run through the middle. The Phillips pass forward is blocked, and it goes out for a throw-in to Plymouth inside their own half. Plymouth 1, Leeds 1. What's happening at Ibrox? Jane Lewis.
Well, I can tell you what, Aberdeen just had a chance on goal, but it just flew over there from, it was Graham Shinney that had the shot. But yeah, I tell you what, Kyle Ruse been absolutely brilliant, just saved another great shot from Tom Lawrence with his feet. But for him, Rangers would be well ahead in this one. They're not, it's still one apiece.
And it's still 1-1 here. FA Cup 4th round replay, 3 minutes plus added time remaining at Home Park. The ball is back with Meslier. Plymouth sense they might be able to nick it here, don't they, Danny?
Yeah,
I
that
think
goal's just given them a bit of life. It's given everyone life. The crowd have come to life as well. Maybe the substitutes coming on have just given Plymouth a bit more energy as well, but
yeah,
it looks a little bit different now, doesn't it?
That's 17-year-old Freddie Isaka and 18-year-old Caleb Roberts. So impressive from them. Groive to his left to Gray. Gray to Firpo. Jorginho makes the run down the left. Now receives it from Firpo. He's onside. Green shirts in front of him. Clever little back heel to Firpo. Tries to get the cross in. Plymouth touch on it. Takes it behind. And that'll be another corner for Leeds. And they have had a ton of those in this second half. So Plymouth's defence is still going to be tested. Place in the 5th round for the winners tonight. Corner flag being blown sideways at the moment over on that left flank for Leeds. I can see a bit of litter gusting around on the pitch as well. Corner comes in, it's an away swinger. Bamford jumps, look like a foul from Bamford, that at the near post. Yeah, referee's pinged him for it, and that's going to be a Plymouth free kick. Plymouth 1, Leeds 1.
Yeah, I think Ian Foster will be happy with another set-piece goal. That's 2 in 2 games now, and that has been an area of trouble for Plymouth this season. Defending them and getting goals the other end. So they've obviously been doing a bit of work on the training ground in that respect and getting the rewards already. But different feel to this game now since the goal. It's not as one-sided. Could go either way.
Those are the thoughts of Danny Gabbidon as the rain continues to fall, the wind continues to swirl. Plymouth 1, Leeds 1. Motherwell have a 4th against Ross County late in the game in the Scottish Premiership. Big win for them tonight. Motherwell 4, Ross County 0. Just seeing Patrick Bamford gives me a chance to plug another podcast you'll find on the BBC Sounds app if you've not listened to it yet, the one he's doing with Joe Wilkinson called My Mate a Footballer. We recorded the latest Fantasy 606 podcast today as well. Swimmer Mark Foster, who's a big fantasy football fan, was our guest on the pod. That'll be out on Thursday as we look ahead to the Premier League fixtures at the weekend. Ball is cleared by Liam Cooper down into the Plymouth half. Jorginho chases. Late goal at Ibrox here. Jane Lewis.
Yes, there has indeed, and it's gone to the home side, as you might be able to tell from the noise. It's 2-1 to Rangers. It was Todd Cantwell who was quick on the rebound after another fine save by Kyle Drews, but this time it fell straight to Cantwell, and he did not miss. He has put Rangers 2-1 up in this one, and it could be a significant goal in terms of that top of the title race.
Yeah, that's right. Rangers win tonight, takes them level on points with Celtic. They'll have played the same number of games. Celtic just ahead on goal difference. They're away to Hibs tomorrow. Brendan Rodgers Celtic. Barley Mumba tackled on the left, right on the halfway line in front of the two managers, and the ball goes out for a Plymouth throw. Right, 4th official is on his way out. He's wrapped up warm, big coat on, black beanie hat on his head. John Busby's your man. 4 minutes of added time at the end of this game. If we don't get a goal in that time, we're on into extra time, and the FA Cup drama will continue. Ball's loose on the halfway line, played forward by Phillips for Plymouth, intercepted by Cooper. Groive plays to his right to Byram inside the Leeds half. Here's the Bulgarian Groive again, closed down very quickly by Roberts, got it away to Roden. Roden plays back to Meslier. Got to be careful with the passing out from the back now. Cooper pushes it out to the left to Firpo. Archie Gray onto it for Leeds inside his own half. Little run from him, skittering across the Leeds half, and Sam Byron collects it in space on the right. Ian Foster urging more effort from his team in the closing stages of the 90 minutes here. Groive plays it round Hardy to Cooper. Cooper goes wide to Firpo. Forward to Bamford. Little turn round the corner to find Jorginho, who tried the back heel to get it back to Bamford. It was a little bit over intricate. Plymouth have cleared and Leeds still have it. Gray to Byram. Byram on the right, 40 yards from goal. Finds Gelhardt. Gelhardt onto his left foot, comes in field. Gray's made the run forward. Gray with the outside of his right foot plays back towards Groyve. Hardy chases, but Leeds still have it, and Joe Roden now is able to run forward into the Plymouth half. Central position about 40 yards from goal. Groyve out to the right to Gelhardt again. Gelhardt back to Archie Gray. Groyve involved again, now looking for the floated cross, aiming at Bamford at the far post. Flag is up. That'll be an offside. That'll be a free kick for Plymouth. Danny Gabbidon.
Yeah, they just kind of lost that rhythm that they had, Leeds, since the goal. Since Plymouth have made the changes, they've got themselves back into this tie. Substitutes have certainly helped with that. They've given them energy, given them life, and Leeds, you could maybe say the opposite with the changes they've made. You know, we said about the quality that they had to come off the bench and don't quite look as sharp, don't quite look as fluid since they've made the changes.
Crescencio Somerville on for Leeds. That's what's confused me tonight, Danny. You pointed out tonight on the Leeds sub bench Ian Poveda as the number 10.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he went to Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. So your number 10 is Crescencio Somerville. So that is another very good player for Leeds to throw into the action. Remains Plymouth 1, Leeds 1. Coventry and Southampton heading through to the FA Cup 5th round. Here is Somerville, early touches of the ball for him, back to Groyve, low shot, blocked on the edge of the box. Runs here to Jorginho, out wide to Firpo, Somerville again, down the line to Firpo, cross comes back, Gelhardt, hits the post, what a strike with his left foot, and comes clanging back off the post, and now Plymouth are able to bring the ball away on the counter, and Leeds need to try to break this up. Groyve jumps in to make the tackle, and Gelhardt on the ball again. He thought he'd won the cup tie for Leeds.
Oh, what a strike. Couldn't have hit that any sweeter.
Here they come again. Somerville, low right-footed shot is blocked. Plymouth appealing for a handball in the box. Decision not going to get given. Doesn't matter. Plymouth are able to bring it away down the right, and at least Les Dennis will know it was the post. It was the post, Les, that Gelhardt struck there. Low on the left-hand post of Connor Hazard's goal. He hit that so sweetly. Motherwell have a 5th. Motherwell 5, Ross County 0.
Yeah, they work it really well on that left-hand side. Firpo gets in again. This time he cuts it back and picks someone out. Gelhardt's the man. He catches the strike ever so well on his left foot. He'll feel that he's scored. It's one of them. Once he leaves your foot, you know you've caught it well. You're waiting for the net to bulge and back off the post. So unlucky.
Full-time whistle's going to blow any second here. My stopwatch tells me the 4 minutes of added time are almost up. Referee Robert Jones has a first look at the watch. Ball forward, intercepted. Still time here, maybe for Plymouth to snatch a late winner. Ryan Hardy. The ball's bouncing in front of him just outside the Leeds box. Still Hardy shoots. Meslier makes the save by his near post. Palms it behind. Will we have time for the corner? I'm waiting to see from the referee's signal.
Well, it's poor initially. Joe Roden giving the ball away in that midfield area. Whittaker finds Hardy with a run in behind, and he's just up against Cooper, and he just drags it onto his left foot. It's a tightish angle, but he catches the strike well. Forces the save for Meslier on the near post.
Could be some finish this. Last seconds of the game, way beyond the minimum amount of added time. Plymouth have a corner in front of thousands of baying Plymouth fans, playing for a place in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Rain continues to sweep across that Leeds penalty area. Delivery from Randall to the far post, headed behind. Another corner, and there's still time for it, and Leeds players really unhappy about this. They're actually pointing at the big screen in the other corner of the ground. They can see the time that's been played in the game, and they're saying, how are we still playing time now? Another corner for Plymouth. I'll tell you what, if this goes in, there's going to be some protests into the near post. Not the best delivery. Ball loose inside the Leeds box. Cleared now. 90 minutes is up. We are heading to extra time. Plymouth 1, Leeds 1, but Joe Gelhardt striking the post, Danny Gabbidon, in added time.
Yeah, inches away from sending Leeds United into the last 16. Credit to Plymouth, though. They kept it at 1-0. They were second best for a lot of that first part of the second half. They kept it at 1-0. They kept themselves in the game and managed to find an equaliser from a set piece. Leeds will be really disappointed with the manner of that goal, and maybe disappointed that they haven't kind of seen this game off. They were that dominant in the second half, but they couldn't get that second goal. And Plymouth were always in it at 1-0, so it can be interesting to see how extra time goes now. It really is.
More FA Cup drama to come on 5 Live and BBC Sounds tonight. Extra time on the way here at Home Park, where the rain continues to team down. Plymouth 1, Leeds 1.
So we're still waiting to see who is going to be going to Chelsea in the next round of the FA Cup, but we know who'll be hosting Maidstone United. It's finished at Coventry. Chris Coles.
And it's Coventry hosting Maidstone next. Very comfortable night for them. The game won in a 7-minute blitz just after half-time, in which they scored 3 to take the game away from Sheffield Wednesday. 1-1 at the break. Casey Palmer's smart finish cancelled out by Bailey Cadamartri's poacher's goal, and then Callum O'Hare basically took over. 2 great finishes into the corner. Hadji Wright then nodded in a 4th, all before the hour mark, and that was that. Coventry seemingly declared for the rest of the game a non-event. So it's Coventry through to face 6th tier Maidstone in round 5. Sheffield Wednesday turn their considerable focus to a big game in the Championship against Birmingham on Friday. Coventry 4, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Clinton Morrison watched it. That 7-minute spell, Clinton won the game for Coventry.
Yeah, after the second half, I thought they were brilliant. In particular, Casey Palmer, O'Hare. You can see O'Hare is one of the best players in the Championship. He'll be playing Premier League football, whether it's with Coventry or with a Premier League team. He showed his quality, and Hadji Wright needed that goal because he missed a few big sitters, but not as bad as Alice Sims, who missed a sitter from 3 yards. But comfortable win for Coventry.
And it's Maidstone, Steve, who await Coventry next.
Thank you very much, guys. Our producer's a big Aston Villa fan and has just rightly reminded me that the winner of Plymouth against Leeds will play Chelsea or Aston Villa in the next round of the Cup. So apologies, Aston Villa fans, for that. I'm pretty sure going to Anfield are going to be Southampton. Henry Moran.
They are celebrations after a Southampton 3, Watford 0 scoreline. The Saints make it 24 unbeaten. They're heading up to Anfield in the 5th round. All 3 goals in the second half. Sekumara grabbing 2, including a rocket from distance. Brilliant goal. Che Adams guided home from a free kick to seal the deal. Southampton, they were outstanding. 7 changes tonight in the second half. They could have and should have scored more. Southampton 3, Watford 0.
Exeter on the verge of a big win in League One. Sheridan Robbins.
They're leading Peterborough by 2-1. They were just trying to burst forward to perhaps get a 3rd goal. Peterborough all at sea. There's a bit of a melee in the middle of the halfway line. The referee taking both captains to have a word with them, but it could be a huge win for Exeter as they look to go away from the relegation zone. They lead by 2-1, 1 minute of added time to go.
Other scores for you in League One then. Charlie Adam picked up his first win as Fleetwood manager in their last game, and he's going to get another tonight. Bristol Rovers 0, Fleetwood 2, 94th minute, and Bristol Rovers are down to 10 men. It's finished Stevenage 0, Reading 1, so Reading moving out of the relegation zone. It's Port Vale 0, Leyton Orient 1. Earlier, Cambridge versus Bolton was abandoned in the first half because of the weather. Burton versus Cheltenham was postponed. Let's go back to Ibrox in the Scottish Premiership. Rangers Aberdeen, Jane Lewis.
Rangers 2, Aberdeen 1. This is getting a feisty affair, I have to say, as the referee just flashes a yellow card at the Rangers goalkeeper. But yeah, as things stand, Celtic, of course, are at top of the table. Rangers will equal their Old Firm rivals at the top of the table, and winning by 2-1 here. The goals from Matondo and Majewski made it 1 each, and then Cantwell just making it 2-1 there. But yeah, it's getting a bit fiery out there, but Rangers still ahead. This could be a significant win for them if it stays like this.
The other game in the Scottish Premiership finished Motherwell 5, Rots County 0. In the National League, Chesterfield have won. They're 22 points clear at the top after their victory 2-1 at Dagenham and Redbridge. It's Gateshead 1, Eastleigh 1, Halifax 1, Solihull Moors 3, Wealdstone 0, Maidenhead 1, Woking 2, Oxford City 0. Extra time underway at Home Park. Ali.
Yeah, conditions somehow seem to be getting worse. The rain is just incredible. Just watching the 2 teams just before we got underway for this first period of extra time, sort of gathered in the huddles trying to shelter from the rain as the managers were talking to them. But on we go. So Plymouth 1, Leeds 1. Winners away to Chelsea or Villa, who play tomorrow night. That's your 5 Live commentary at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Leeds now back defending the goal away to our right in front of the travelling Leeds fans, who are going to have a very, very late night indeed. And of course we could be going all the way to a penalty shootout. Full time at Exeter, Sheridan Robbins.
Exeter 2, Peterborough 1. Peterborough beaten back-to-back games for the first time since November. They took the lead from the spot through Harrison Burrows, and then in the second half they went down to 10 men, and Exeter got back into it with 2 own goals. They've only scored 8 at home all season, but that result means they're 6 points clear of the relegation zone. Peterborough remain 4th in the division. Exeter 2, Peterborough 1.
Thank you, Sheridan. Ilan Meslier, Leeds goalkeeper, on the ball outside his own penalty penalty area. Leeds in the white shirts, blue numbers on the back, playing from right to left in this first period of extra time. Crowd just settling down again after a noisy, dramatic finish to the end of the 90 minutes. Joe Gelhardt trying to bring the ball in from the right, stopped in his tracks. Leeds have won it back. Crescencio Somerville off the bench, Jorginho Ruta off the bench, Patrick Bamford off the bench as Leeds try and win this cup tie. Plymouth, for their part, have brought on a couple of teenagers who've barely played any first-team football. Bamford, edge of the box, looking for the 1-2 with Jorginho. Firpo tries to help them out. Ball falls at the feet of Jorginho again. That looks like a good ball into the far post. Gelhardt attacks it, gets the cut back, blocked by Mumba. Early corner in this first period of extra time for Leeds.
Yeah, great ball in from Jorginho into that far post. Gelhardt scrambling just to try and get something on that to get it back across goal. He does so, just nicks off a Plymouth body. You would probably favour Leeds if you're going to see a goal in extra time. You would think it would probably come from them with the quality that they have on the pitch now, and probably the fresher of the two teams with the amount of possession they've had too.
In swinging corner from the right, Plymouth get loads of those green shirts in the way. Randall tries to get a header away, ball spins loose on the edge of the box, and now Plymouth with Ryan Hardy come chasing up the field. Hardy kicks it long, chases that clearance up towards the halfway line. Archie Gray, the 17-year-old, comes across for Leeds, takes control of the situation and plays back to Meslier. Rodon forward to Groive. Groive just inside his own half, just short of the halfway line, to Cooper. Cross to Junior Firpo. Firpo's got space to run into on the left, brings it forward and plays it to Somerville. Somerville up to the corner of the Plymouth penalty area. Ball rolling just in front of him, using his body to try and throw off the defenders. Has done well, beaten a couple of them. Jorginho hits it, tipped over the bar. Hazard, it was straight at him, but it was swerving and it was coming fast. He got fingertips to it. It's another corner for Leeds.
Yeah, decent strike, good save. Slightly easier one for Conor Hazard because it is right at him. He's still got to flick that over the bar. I'm not quite sure how Somerville does this. He's got two players on him, left side the 18-yard box. He finds a way of getting in between two of them and just sets the ball off to Jorginho. Decent strike, decent save.
3 minutes gone in the first period of extra time. Plymouth 1, Leeds 1. Another corner comes into the Plymouth box. Headed away. Chased out by Brendan Galloway. It was his equaliser that has sent us 2 extra time. So in the first tie, Leeds took the lead and were pegged back by Plymouth. In the replay here, they took the lead. They've been pegged back by Plymouth. And now here we are with a Leeds throw in an attacking position on the left. Firpo decides to throw it a long way back towards Liam Cooper. Rodon on the ball. So every single outfield player at the moment inside the Plymouth half, and Leeds in control in the early stages of this first period of extra time, as they were for a lot of the second half. But it's still 1-1. Firpo's ball is a loose one. Roberts, Caleb Roberts, the 18-year-old, towards Edwards. Whittaker couldn't keep it in play. Throw in for Leeds on the left, just short of the halfway line. Firpo takes it quickly. Groive wants it. Plays back to Cooper. That one's shoveled across the halfway line to Rodon. Rodon in turn plays to Gray. Gray doesn't see anything on ahead of him, so comes back to Rodon. They're looking to change the angle of attack. Rodon plays a pass and then immediately lifts his right boot up and has to get rid of some mud that's gathered underneath his studs. Clearance from the edge of the box from Lewis Gibson goes out for another Leeds throw on the left.
Yeah, you look at Plymouth Argyle now and you feel it's about them staying solid defensively and just looking to see what they can do on the counter-attack.
Trouble for them now. Somerville on the move. Little cut back to Jorginho. Left-footed strike off balance. Took a deflection. Another corner for Leeds. That's the third in only 5 minutes of play in the first period of extra time. It's 1-1.
Yeah, you look how many attacking players Leeds now have on the pitch. They're essentially playing with one central midfielder. Wow. Archie Gray didn't last long in it. He's now playing at right back. And then you're looking at, you've got Somerville, Jorginho, Bamford, 5 or 6 attacking players.
Corner comes in, headers on target straight at the goalkeeper, Hazard. And he grabs that very gratefully and clutches onto it. Red card at Ibrox, Jane Lewis.
Yeah, Dujan Sterling is no longer on the park. He was just on as a substitute, but he is off, showing a straight red card for a challenge on Jack McKenzie. So Rangers down to 10 men, although they lead this one. It is actually going to VAR, but the referee was pretty quick with his red card. We'll come back to you if it stands, but they are checking that red card for Sterling.
OK, Jane, thank you. Plymouth 1, Leeds 1. Leeds attacking. Somerville with the ball at his feet inside the penalty area. Makes room for the shot and finds the far corner. As soon as he got the ball there, you felt it might end up in the back of the net. Just too good from Crescencio Somerville. Tired Plymouth defenders backing off. He worked them beautifully. He picked his spot, and he's hit a peach of a shot into the far corner. Leeds ahead again. Plymouth 1, Leeds 2.
Well, this guy is having a fantastic season, Crescencio Somerville, and it doesn't matter how many players you put on him, you can double him up, and he still seems to find a way of creating that kind of half yard, that low centre of gravity, and obviously a player full of confidence. And it's Plymouth who give the ball away high up the field, and then they're scrambling to get bodies back, and Somerville picking the ball up on that left hand side, and you know he wants to come inside, but there's almost nothing you can do about it. Phillips just gets off balance, cuts inside, and then the accuracy on the strike just nestles it in that far corner. Side netting has it absolutely no chance. It's a brilliant bit of quality from Somerville. He's been doing that all season long.
Just watching that on our replay monitor, Danny, you're thinking from Ashley Phillips' point of view, don't let him go there, don't let him go there, don't let him go there. But what I noticed was Somerville's got such brilliant balance that you actually think he's going left, but immediately he's back on the right foot.
He just gets you off balance, and then it's only half a yard that he needs then to open that right foot up and find that far corner. Now, could maybe someone kind of come across a bit quicker? I think it was Randall who was the kind of the closest man. But it's just brilliant wing play. It's difficult to defend against, really is.
Yeah, they've got some really, really good players in this squad, Leeds. That's why they're sitting third in the Championship. That's why they are pushing for automatic promotion, and at the moment they're heading through to the 5th round of the FA Cup, and a tie either away to Chelsea or Aston Villa. Let's get back to Ibrox and tidy up the red card that was shown. Patrick Bamford chasing one here. Ashley Phillips is in. The offside flag is up. So Jane, what happened?
Yeah, the red card stands. The referee Don Robertson had a long old look at the monitor after the VAR check was announced, and he had a long old look, and Dujon Sterling is off. It was he kind of clattered in, kind of slid in to Jack McKenzie, the Aberdeen player, and he was shown the straight red card was the substitute, and after a VAR check it stands. Rangers down to 10 men, but the lead 2-1.
Might possibly be being really unfair here, but when we heard red card at Ibrox, I thought he's not got sent off. Warnock's got sent off.
Every chance, though, wouldn't it? Every chance.
No, it wasn't. Rangers leading Aberdeen by 2-1. Puts the pressure on Celtic tomorrow night. They're away to Hibs. I'm sure we'll have updates of that one. Into our commentary game in the FA Cup tomorrow night. Aston Villa against Chelsea, live from Villa Park. Winner of that one at home. At the moment to Leeds. Leeds 2-1 up here against Plymouth. Real quality from Crescencio Somerville to get them ahead in extra time. And Plymouth now have got to try and do it all again, Danny, but they do look a bit tired.
Yeah, you just feel that second goal just might deflate them, and they have put a lot of hard work in tonight. The pitch sapping on the legs as well.
Leeds taking control of the ball. Nice turn from Jorginho 30 yards out, slides it through. Bamford takes a touch, hits the shot, big deflection, another corner for Leeds. All Leeds in this game at the moment. Plymouth 1, Leeds 2.
So many attacking players on the field for Leeds, so Daniel Farke's really gone for it. He doesn't want this kind of going to penalties. They're essentially playing with 5 attacking players now, 1 player in central midfield. Somerville looks like he might be the man to kind of make the difference. I feel a little bit for Ashley Phillips in that situation. I've been there myself as a central defender. He's a lot taller than me, 6'4". You're up against a small player. It's about kind of maybe getting Somerville to the byline or moving your feet quickly. He's not able to do that.
Corner comes into that Plymouth penalty area. Could be another chance. Jorginho goes for the volley, and he's caught the Plymouth defender smack in the face. It's Adam Randall. Maybe in the chest he's caught him. Randall threw himself bravely in the way of it because he knew what Jorginho was trying to do. It's Firpo, beg your pardon, who went for the flying volley. And you could see why he went for that. It was sitting up for him to do so. He chested it down. Randall throws himself in the way and actually gets a big kick in the back.
Yeah, and he's holding his head though. But yeah, the chest control just set him up for that kind of strike, didn't it? But then he does well, Randall. He steps in, gets there first, wins the header, and then just gets a volley to the back there.
10 minutes gone in the first period of extra time, so 20 minutes to play here for Plymouth to try and find another equaliser in this game. They've gone behind 3 times now over the 2 games in this tie. I tell you what though, Ryan Hardy's in on the left hand side and Morgan Whittaker's lurking behind him. Still Hardy inside the Leeds penalty area, drags it back onto his left foot. He's just outside the box now. Leeds now have the numbers back to try and defend it. Mumba tries to go on the outside. Gelhardt's in front of him. Mumba's beaten him. Plays it back. Whittaker has a swing first time. Gets right underneath it and lofts it high over the bar and behind for a goal kick to Leeds.
Yeah, it was the finish of a man who hasn't had too many touches lately, really. Didn't see a lot of him in the second half. It's a difficult one for Whittaker. Ball's fired across the 18-yard box at him quickly. He's got players closing him down. Gets that strike all wrong.
Well, Leeds made the 5th round last season. They've not had great times in the FA Cup in the last decade or so. Former winners once. Don Revie's team back in 1972. Alan Clark got the goal against Arsenal in the final in a 1-0 win. They reached the final again the following year. One of the most famous FA Cup finals because they were beaten by 2nd Division Sunderland. Goal from Ian Porterfield, the heroics from Jimmy Montgomery in goal. And since then, Leeds, as a football club, have reached the semi-finals twice since 73. 1977, lost against Manchester United. In 1987, they lost to that Coventry team that went on and beat Tottenham in that classic final as well. So Leeds heading through to the 5th round at the moment. Mellier's playing the long ball forward upfield. Somerville jumps high. Phillips beats him in the air, clears it away with his right foot. Cooper heads it into the shins of Groive. And then Firpo just jumps out of a challenge but plays a delicate little pass to Somerville, and Somerville is running at Plymouth defenders again. Looks for Jorginho just ahead of him on the left. Offside flag goes up. So that'll be a free kick for Plymouth, and then Plymouth fans complaining that Jorginho kicked the ball away, and that should be a yellow card. Referee decides against that. Plymouth have the ball now. They've taken it quickly. Joe Edwards with it at his feet. They've got about a couple of minutes left in this first period of extra time to try and find themselves an equaliser. Then they'll steel themselves, brace themselves against the rain, and try and do it in the last 15 minutes. Goodness me, they almost played Patrick Bamford in with a back pass there from Galloway that I don't think was meant for Gibson. Hit Gibson and he somehow controlled it.
His touch was outstanding, I have to say.
Ashley Phillips then runs into trouble. He's half tackled and Plymouth get lucky again because the ball eventually runs out to Joe Edwards. Phillips now to Caleb Roberts. Jorginho onto him. Roberts done so well there to get away from Bamford and Jorginho. Applause from some of the fans in front of us for the 18-year-old, rightly so. Galloway, pass out to the left to Mumba, wide to Randall, followed by Joel Pirro, tackles Randall. Randall goes tumbling, Joel Pirro on the ball, tries to flick it forward down the right. There's a foul there, referee wants to play advantage. Jorginho wasn't really watching there, let the ball run across his body. Somerville's available again, wide on the left, has to stretch to keep that pass in play. Just over a minute left in this first period of extra time. Good use of the body there from Jorginho, just holding off Caleb Roberts. Somerville knocks it in field to Groive. Groive, high floated ball away to the right, past infield to Joe Gelhardt. Gelhardt bringing it forward. That left foot can be dangerous, decides not to hit it. Groive sees Somerville in space again on the left, and here he goes. Support on the outside from Firpo. Firpo's little chip cross into the box, looking for Bamford. Headed away, might run back to Rodon. Rodon plays a little 1-2 into the area. I'm not sure why he didn't hit that. Instead, he's laid it off, and then the shot is hit way over the bar by Joel Pirro, and that's a goal kick for Plymouth.
He didn't hit it because he's a centre-back.
That's what I thought.
Know your limits, set it off to the good players, and to be fair, Joel Pirro didn't do a much better job.
No, he didn't.
Such a difficult team to play against, Leeds. They're so good in possession, they're patient, they control possession, but then they have those transition players as well.
So getting a yellow card there, Danny. Sorry to I don't know who that was got the yellow card, but we'll find out if another one's given to the same person, because then it'll be a red. But we'll try and chase that one down. Here's Freddie Isaka putting Archie Gray under pressure. Two 17-year-olds battling for the ball on the edge of the Leeds box. Mellier clears with his left foot in a hurry, and it goes out for a throw.
It just looked like he had the pace, Isaka, to get the other side of Archie Gray, but he just used his body strength really well just to ease him out, and then good composure shown after just to lay it back to his goalkeeper.
1 minute of added time at the end of the first period of extra time. Plymouth 1, Leeds 2. Coventry beat Sheffield Wednesday 4-1 tonight in a fourth round replay. They're through to face Maidstone United, so Maidstone's fans could do it all again in the fifth round. Midweek Cup football at the end of this month. They are going to Coventry, playing for a place unbelievably in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. And Southampton beat Watford 3-0. They will go to Anfield in the fifth round. Bamford looking for the run of Pirro. Pass is intercepted. Lewis Gibson gets another foot on the ball. It comes back to Hazard, but before he has a chance to clear it, The whistle blows, so there's 15 minutes remaining in the game. A goal of real quality has Leeds back in front. Danny Gabbidon.
Yeah, it certainly was. And look, I did kind of mention it start of that first half of extra time that Leeds might be the most likely to maybe get a goal if there is one in extra time, just with the quality that they've been able to kind of bring off the bench. Obviously the possession that they've had as well. Plymouth just look like they're tiring a little bit now, but it's taken a moment of magic from Somerville, who's probably been their player of the season, to get them back in front, just cutting in off that left hand side and finding that far corner. Do Plymouth have anything left in the second half of extra time? Can they respond?
Well, we will see, and you'll hear it here on 5 Live and BBC Sound. Second period of extra time on the way. In the incessant rain at Home Park, Plymouth 1, Leeds 2.
Neil Warnock's Aberdeen, so close. Jane Lewis.
Yeah, Duke just missed a free kick there right at the death. It just flew over the bar. But my goodness, yeah, Neil Warnock's Aberdeen bout ends in defeat. But he'll be very proud of his players' performance, I would imagine. From a Rangers point of view, will they move level on points with leaders Celtic? Kyle Roos in the Aberdeen goal produced some brilliant saves, but the two Rangers goals came kind of from errors from him, almost palming initial shots, firstly into the path of Rabbi Matondo, and then in the second half he did exactly the same thing into the path of Todd Cantwell as he made it 2-1. In between that, Aberdeen got back, they got an equaliser as Barron's long ball was finished off brilliantly by Majowski. Dujan Sterling was sent off for a straight red, but Rangers held on despite that brave effort at the end from Aberdeen. This place is bouncing. That's a really big win from a Rangers point of view. It finished Rangers 2, Aberdeen 1.
Home Park was bouncing as well, but it's been stalled by that great finish from Crescencio Somerville. Alex Bruce been with us all evening. Great finish, but it was one of those where you thought you knew exactly what he's going to do. Can you stop it?
Well, when he's got that quality like we've seen so many times this season, when he cuts in on that right foot, you knew it was going to happen, didn't you? It was a great finish, the way he cut inside and bent it in the far top corner. And when he came on the pitch, you could feel it, couldn't you? You thought, well, here he comes, what's he going to produce? And by God, he's produced the goods there. And if they can hold on Leeds now, it'll be a good way to finish the game for them.
We're with you until 10:30 when Gordon Smart takes over, but only once we're done, however long it takes at Home Park. Ali.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Steve, Leeds are scoring some good goals in the FA Cup this season, because Nyonto's first goal in this game tonight was a real cracker, and then you go back to the third round of the Patrick Bamford volley, so they're having their own little competition for goal of the FA Cup 2023-24. Plymouth 1, Leeds 2. Plymouth made a change just ahead of that second period of extra time. Brendan Galloway's come off. He was the one who was shown the yellow card by the referee. He's been taken off and he's been replaced by Dan Scarr, the number 6 for Plymouth.
Yeah, I think the young lad Wayne might be on for Plymouth as well. Ben Wayne,
New Zealand striker.
I think a midfielder's possibly come off. I think it's Joe Edwards, maybe the captain, so we might see 2 up top from Plymouth now.
Well, here they come. Home fans getting excited, bringing the ball forward. Shot from range just over the crossbar. Well hit on the left foot by Caleb Roberts, the 18-year-old. See on his face, he's frustrated he couldn't quite keep it down and test the goalkeeper. They're going to give it a go.
Yeah, he's done well, the youngster, since he's come on. Shown good energy, some nice touches, been really assured in possession. Looks a little bit lightweight, doesn't he? But he's been really difficult to kind of move off the ball. Decent strike there. Looks like they've possibly gone 4-4-2 Plymouth now.
I can see Ben Wayne, you're right, the New Zealander is up alongside Ryan Hardy. Isaka's gone wide on the left and Whittaker's wide on the right hand side. That's how Plymouth are going to go at it. Second period of extra time. Why not? Because it's decided tonight, if they can find themselves a goal, then we're possibly heading towards a penalty shootout. Plymouth away to Sunderland at the weekend. Leeds have a home game against Rotherham when they get back to Championship action. Foul by Bamford. He trod on Adam Randall there inside the Plymouth half. Plymouth free kick. Their dark green shirts, you can see here, clinging to the bodies, absolutely soaked to the skin. Has not stopped all night here under the bright lights at Home Park. Playing in a real storm tonight. Plymouth 1, Leeds 2. Ball is back with Connor Hazard. He could do absolutely nothing about the strikes from Nyonto and Somerville, the two tricky wingers for Leeds, with some fabulous finishing. Ball is played forward by Scar, intercepted. Archie Gray trying to hold on to it for Leeds. He's lost it here to Isaka. Clever from Isaka. Forward to Wayne. Wayne lays it off to Randalls, opening up for Plymouth on the right-hand side. Barley Mumba just steps over the pass, leaves it to Morgan Whittaker. The run from Mumba on the outside. Somerville's there covering it, and the pass just a bit too much on it. Got away from Mumba. It's gone behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, just need to make a little bit more of those situations, Plymouth, because we haven't seen too many of them probably since the goal. Credit to Somerville, does his defensive work, tracks the run, makes it difficult for Mumba, just sees the ball over the byline there. Plymouth just need to find a way of getting a bit of pressure on this Leeds team, but it's so difficult with the way that they kind of control possession, technical players that they have on the pitch.
Yeah, unbeaten in 2024 are Leeds in 7 games, won 6 of them. The only one they were held in was the first game in this tie, the 1-1 draw against Plymouth at Ellen Road. Isaka on the ball again. Fans enjoying his play so far this evening. Good pass from him as well. Swerving ball out to the right to Whittaker. Whittaker on the right. Low cross comes in. Cleared away by Liam Cooper with his left foot, leaning back. Plymouth will let that run out for a throw. Attacking position on the right-hand side. Fabulous support they've had again tonight. Can they find themselves an equaliser? Throw in on the right, and they're just going to take their time. Ashley Phillips is drying the ball there for Barley Mumba. I'm not quite sure why Barley Mumba can't dry that himself. Ashley Phillips, like his... Here you are, sir. Nice dry ball for you in the pouring rain as he lobs his throw down the right-hand side. Hardy heads it infield. Pirro is back there and pirouetting. Clears on the turn on the half volley and straight out for a throw into Plymouth, who started this second period of extra time with real intent.
Yeah, they have, and you're just wondering if maybe they can go slightly more direct now they're playing with 2 strikers at top. When they do win the ball back, can they look to maybe play forward a bit quicker, get the ball into those front men, try and get Whittaker and Hardy into the game a little bit more.
Bamford's running hard here to try and close down the Plymouth keeper, Connor Hazard. Hazard has time to clear with his left foot. Roden just cushions a little pass to Gray, who does well to keep that in play up towards Gelhardt. Gelhardt plays it back to Roden. Roden's immediately closed down, across to Gray. Gray down the line to Gelhardt, and that's a poor challenge on Groyve. Referee's continued play here. Leeds man stays down. Bamford's going to stop play. Plymouth just so desperate to win the ball back, just leapt into the channel. I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. I think he just wants a rest, Groyve. I have to say he's been outstanding tonight, been really impressive. Seen him play a few times now. Don't think he's wasted a pass tonight. Always seems to make the right decision on the ball. Good in tight areas, good awareness of players around him when he's been closed down. Lovely little touch there under pressure to kind of draw a foul for his team. He's been excellent.
Playing alongside Glenn Kamara, Ethan Ampadu, not off the bench yet this evening, who can do a job in central midfield and at centre-back for Leeds. Welsh international, of course, as Danny will well know, and seems to have landed on his feet here at Leeds. He's, obviously been on loan from Chelsea at all sorts of clubs in Serie A for the last couple of seasons, having a good time with Leeds now. Bamford plays it forward to Somerville. Can they kill it here? Somerville to Jorginho, shoots in off the post, and that is that, I'm sure. Leeds heading through to a 5th round tie against Chelsea or Aston Villa. Just too much quality in the end for Plymouth. They came pouring forward there. The little pass to Jorginho, and he squirted the finish in off the post. The Leeds fans celebrate, while a lot of the Plymouth fans head off into a wet night. Plymouth 1, Leeds 3.
Yeah, he didn't quite get the connection that he was looking for, Jorginho. But he gets the direction on the strike. He's kind of under pressure as that ball's played through from Somerville inside the 18-yard box, and maybe that's why he doesn't quite make the right connection. But it just kind of dribbles in off that far post and into the net. And all 3 Leeds goals have kind of come in the transition, with Plymouth giving the ball away. And Leeds United have the players to hurt you. Somerville driving forward. Little layoff across the 18-yard box, and Jorginho, first time strike. Yes, not his best one. It just dribbles and finds that far corner. Looks like Leeds United are into the last 16.
Yeah, 5th round draw looking like this at the moment. If Leeds go through, they'll be up against Villa or Chelsea. We know tonight now that it's Coventry who host Maidstone. We know that Southampton are going to Liverpool. Blackburn host Newcastle. Bournemouth against Leicester. Wolves against Brighton. Manchester City cup holders go to Luton. And tomorrow night we've got full commentary on Sports Extra of Nottingham Forest Bristol City, winners of that one at home to Manchester United. And I can tell you, in terms of the games on BBC television. Blackburn Newcastle is one, and the Nottingham Forest or Bristol City against Manchester United is another. But Leeds against Villa or Chelsea is going to be a good 5th round tie, and I think Villa-Chelsea tomorrow night is going to be well worth a listen on BBC Radio 5 Live. Gelhardt across to Firpo, forward to Somerville. Somerville makes a little darting run into the box. Mumba intercepts for Plymouth, plays it up to the halfway line. Cooper reads that brilliantly, comes steaming across, takes it off Wayne, forward to Somerville, on the turn, edge of the area. Jorginho just tries to go running behind Ashley Phillips. Phillips too clever for that, he's got it covered. Jorginho comes chasing back at him, both players go to ground. Free kick goes Leeds' way.
Yeah, I think it was the youngster Ashley Phillips who actually gave the ball away for that goal. He has looked tired in extra time, he's had to do a lot of defending tonight. He's just a little bit lax in possession. Somerville nips in and they punish Plymouth with a third. Looked all right there though, galloping down the line with the ball.
It is an omen for you, Danny. So the only previous time that Plymouth have played Leeds in the FA Cup was in 1973. Leeds won the tie. They actually won it at Ellen Road, not in a replay, and they went on to reach the final, the one I was talking about, which they lost to Sunderland. So if you're into that sort of thing, Leeds fans might be thinking, well, I mean, we obviously don't want to go on and lose a final, but we'd love to get to a final.
Look, I think they got a good chance. They've got the players. They've got the players, I think, to do well in this competition. You know, I remember kind of getting to this stage as a player myself, and you're looking at the draw, you're hoping maybe you can get a favourable team, and you know, you get to this stage and anything can happen. Getting into the last 16, anything can happen.
Yeah, that's a good point. As Andy Gillies has just pointed out, that in 73 it was Sunderland, a team from a lower division, that actually won the FA Cup. Last team to do that, team not in the top flight, West Ham, with Trevor Brookings' goal back in 1980 when they beat Arsenal by 1-0. Will it happen again? Unlikely, but you never know. We've got just over 5 minutes remaining here. Second period of extra time at Home Park. Rain continues to pour down. The 3 stands that don't contain the Leeds fans are rapidly emptying, and you don't blame the Plymouth fans for that at all. Plymouth 1, Leeds 3. Goals from Nyonto, Somerville and Jorginho Ruta, who was signed for a lot of money by Leeds United in January 2023, just under £40 million from Hoffenheim, playing an important role in their promotion push this season, and it's looked like he's really wanted to get involved coming off the bench this evening. Has scored the 3rd goal, but just watching him again there, trying to get into the play, enjoying the physical battle, getting on the ball, playing a little 1-2 with Somerville now. Somerville comes speeding forward for Leeds. What a good run that is. Lays the pass off to Pirro. Pirro gives it to Gelhardt. Gelhardt's left-footed shot, that's deflected and wide this time, and that'll be a corner for Leeds.
Yeah, cuts inside on that left foot, Gelhardt, and I just thought he was going to try and find that far corner with a curler, but he tries to maybe fool Conor Andolin's near post, and that's the reason why it just nicks then up a Plymouth defender away from the corner. But Somerville's been very good since he's come on. Jorginho's been very good, as you said. I think Gelhardt's had a good effect on the game as well. That's the quality that Leeds have. That's been the difference, really.
Yeah, Daniel Farke, twice a winner of the Championship title with Norwich, taking them up 2 times. Couldn't keep them in the Premier League, trying to do it again with Leeds this season. At the moment taking them through to the 5th round of the FA Cup. Leading 3-1, corner in towards the near post, headed away and behind for another corner. Terrific noise being made, well, by both sets of fans this evening. Obviously the Plymouth fans are quieter now, and it's the Leeds fans you can hear away to our right, but it's been a really good atmosphere inside Home Park. Another corner comes in from the right, holds up in the win, own goal. That was a horrible one for the Plymouth defenders to deal with. Might have been Ryan Hardy, the centre forward, with the final touch. It just hung and hung in the air. There was a glancing header on it. Goalkeeper Connor Hazard just looks at his defenders and says, well, what can I do with that? It's cruel on Plymouth now, deep in extra time. Plymouth 1, Leeds 4.
Yeah, you wouldn't say that they deserve this. And as you say, Alistair, it was a really difficult one for Plymouth to deal with. Wind affected that delivery into the box. Just looking at the picture of Ryan Hardy shaking his head. Just the quality is shown in extra time. Plymouth, they just run out of legs, really. Whips the ball into that near post area. There's not a Leeds player really in that area, only Jorginho. 3 Plymouth players can deal with that, and they don't. It just almost hits the head of Ryan Hardy. It's almost like he's not expecting it to come to him. So he's got a player in front of him and he just glances it into that far corner. So unlucky he really is, but I think the wind plays a part.
That's what I think, Danny. I think he's jumping, and then once he's got up, the ball isn't quite where
mistimes it,
exactly
almost
where he expects it to be, and then once he's up, he can't stop the ball glancing his head. Here's Whittaker on the right. Can they find themselves another goal? Good feet, driven shot. Meslier saves at his near post. So Ryan Hardy own goal, Plymouth 1, Leeds 4. I mean, on the balance of play though, Danny, in terms of watching the two teams, you can see why Leeds are pushing for promotion to the Premier League, and you can see why Plymouth, actually, as good as they are at home this season, they've been fantastic, are finding their feet again. They've not been in the Championship since 2010.
It's two teams that are at different stages in their kind of development. Obviously Leeds are expected to get back to the Premier League. When you keep the likes of Somerville, Jorginho, these players, you have to get promoted. I think it's as simple as that. I'm not sure what the financial implications would be for Leeds if they don't with those players. You know, Plymouth, it's about staying in the Championship this season and building and developing two clubs who are very different ends of the scale financially. So I think they've given a great account of themselves tonight. I really do, Plymouth.
Leeds are back here quite soon, actually. Saturday the 17th of February, we've got Plymouth Leeds in the Championship. After that, Leeds host Leicester on Friday the 23rd. That'll be some game. And then after that, it will be Leeds' 5th round FA Cup tie against one of Chelsea or Villa. Pirro, first time ball to Bamford. Oh, Bamford was trying to let it run across so he could ping it with his left foot, and Barley Mumba just got enough on it for Plymouth. Bamford's down in the box, not going to get a penalty for that. He's absolutely smothered in mud from head to toe now. We've got just over a minute to play, and Leeds are cruising into the 5th round of the FA Cup. Coventry through tonight, beat Sheffield Wednesday 4-1. They'll be at home to Maidstone United. Southampton beat Watford by 3-0. They're away to Liverpool. And Neil Warnock's first game as Aberdeen boss ended in defeat at Ibrox. Rangers 2, Aberdeen 1. Bamford's shot just wide. Played in by Jorginho, looking for a fifth. Bamford hit it first time and couldn't quite find the angle.
Yeah, should have scored. At least should have hit the target. It's brilliant play from Jorginho. He picks the ball up on the halfway line. He's got a man tight at him, spins him, and then just uses his power and pace to surge away, and then he sees the runner Bamford, plays him in. He's on his left foot and he's trying to fire that across the goalkeeper, and he just scuffs the shot wide.
Patrick Bamford still running hard, putting pressure on Dan Scarr as he clears for Bournemouth. Last minute of the second period of extra time. Leeds are still coming, you know, and that's naughty from Ben Waine because Gelhardt was away from him, and that's a cynical challenge, knocks him over. The full-time whistle blows and Plymouth's FA Cup run is over. Leeds it is who march on into the 5th round. They'll be up against Premier League opposition, either Chelsea or Aston Villa, and in the end the quality shone through. Brilliant strikes from Gnonto and Somerville. Somerville in the first period of extra time to get them 2-1 in front. Plymouth then looked tired. Jorginho got the third. It was an own goal for the fourth. Leeds deservedly through to the 5th round. Danny Gabbidon.
Yeah, I think the quality kind of showed in the end. The quality that Daniel Farke was able to kind of bring off the bench in comparison. He didn't have that luxury, did he, Foster, for, you know, reasons out of his control, really, injuries, players being cup-tied and stuff. But I thought Plymouth Argyle gave a fantastic account of themselves, did brilliantly well to get themselves back into the game. The atmosphere at home park was absolutely fantastic. Both sets of fans contributing to that. But once it went to extra time, you just thought that the quality would kind of tell. Plymouth kind of tired. He didn't really have the options to bring on off the bench to kind of freshen things up. And the introduction of Somerville, Gelhardt, Jorginho, that was the difference between the two sides. It wasn't a 4-1 for me. I thought Plymouth were actually outstanding as well on the night.
Great cup tie, great support from both sets of fans, and some great goals tonight as well. Plymouth 1, Leeds 4.
We're going to be reacting to all of tonight's football between now and 10:30 when Gordon Smart takes over. So we've got Ali Bruce-Bull, Danny Gabbidon at home park, where the Leeds United players are going over to celebrate with the fans, some of whom probably won't get home until about 4 a.m. Long drive back up north from the south coast, and Alex Bruce is with us in the studio as well. So we've had Southampton 3, Watford 0, Plymouth 1, Leeds 4, Coventry 4, Sheffield Wednesday 1. I suppose, Alex, in many ways the story of the night is promotion chasing championship clubs flexing the might and the strength and depth that they can boast.
Absolutely, we've seen it with Southampton, we've seen it obviously with Leeds again, and you could sense it with Leeds going into the extra time period with the players that they brought on the pitch. and it's just proved too powerful for Plymouth in the end. But a good game, and the quality of Leeds just shone through at the end.
You scouted Somerville at Leeds, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We went, James Morrison and I, when we were at West Brom, we went to watch a game. We were talking about it earlier, Man City v Leeds, a couple of seasons ago now, and he was the standout player, Somerville, on the night. He was exceptional, and hasn't surprised me to see the season he's having so far.
I remember him scoring a brilliant goal at Anfield, Ali, which was the goal that really sort of put him on the map. But what a talent he is.
He is, and you know, as soon as he came on, not he looked a different class or a cut above, but every time he got the ball at his feet, he looked incredibly dangerous and incisive and like something might happen. And actually, our commentary position here at Home Park, Steve, is such a brilliant one that when he picked that ball up on the left, that was the touchline closest to us. And a bit like Alex is saying and Danny was saying in commentary, you could see exactly what he was going to do. And I think Ashley Phillips knew exactly what he was going to do, but it's still incredibly hard, you know, to stop him doing it. And then you've just got to apply the finish, and that's what he did brilliantly as well, because the goalkeeper knows where he's going there. Okay, he could give him the eyes and try and roll it in at the near post, but he picked his spot, he curled it beautifully, and it was a brilliant goal.
It's so difficult, though, you know, when a player like that, and Danny will probably back me up on it, when you know what they're going to do, but they move the ball that quickly, and when you're backpedaling, they chop inside you. There's nothing worse as a defender.
It's the old Arjen Robben debate, isn't it, Danny?
It is. Look, I've been there myself, and I was a pretty mobile and quick defender, but it's so difficult in those 1v1 situations. You could argue Ashley Phillips, can he overcover and almost show him the line, but then you know he's going to get to the byline as well, because he can go either way, Somerville, and put a dangerous cross in. So, you know, these attacking players now, they're so good. They're very good at kind of getting you off balance. You know, they keep the ball very close to their feet, and they just wait for you to almost take that backward step as you're jockeying, and then they're shifting the ball inside, and they got that kind of short back lift and the strikes away. It's very difficult unless you've got another player maybe inside of you coming across and helping. It's difficult, but we've seen tonight with Somerville, even when he's doubled up, he's still difficult to stop. He still finds a way of getting through the space and getting shots away, and he was a cut above for me, Alistair, when he come on.
Two great weapons to have in their armoury, though. Somerville on one side and Nonto on the other. Really good.
Well, you look at Leeds, and they've got a really nice balance to them now. I was saying in the commentary where, you know, they dominate possession, they look to play up from the back, you know, they try and play into the spaces, but they've got the transition players as well, so they can kind of hurt you with possession. But then, as you saw with the 3 goals tonight, Plymouth giving the ball away, it suits the likes of Somerville and Nonto, because then they're on the transition, and that's where they can hurt you as well.
And the other one who caught the eye, Steve, wasn't on the score sheet, the 20-year-old Matteo Joseph, who we were talking about during the commentary. You know, he's not a regular starter at all. Bamford's the main man through the middle at the moment, but he looked good tonight, I tell you.
Just on Nonto as well, Alex, I suppose Daniel Farke has done a brilliant job just to get him on side, for want of a better phrase. For those who don't know, you know, he was effectively looking like he was going on strike in the summer. He told the club he wanted to leave. He didn't want to be in the team for a first round game they had in the League Cup. He obviously convinced him and reintegrated him, and is getting the best out of him, and those are 3 difficult things to do in that scenario.
Well, there's a number of talking points behind it, isn't there? I mean, when players go on strike, especially no disrespect at a club like Leeds, sometimes there's no going back. So fair play to the manager for bringing him back into the fold, and fair play to the kid himself, Nonto, because to go into the side, perform, because he probably knew I'd have to perform because of the way things was when he tried to push through the move. But I bet everyone associated with Leeds now are delighted that he is playing, and he's playing to the way he is, because he's a huge asset to them.
I think he had no choice, boys, but to get his head down and try and get back in the team. Look, if you want your move, you know, you've got to play and play well. You know, I think what he did in the summer, you know, harbouring a move, wanting to get out, effectively going on strike, that doesn't look well to other clubs that want to sign you now. Maybe, you know, Leeds wanted a certain fee for him, teams were willing to pay that, and he's had to stay at the football club, so he's had no choice really other than to get his head down and try and get back in this team. Because if he does want to get that move and get back to whatever level he wants to play at, he's got to be producing it on the pitch. There's no good throwing your toys in the pram and sitting on the subs bench or refusing to play. That's not going to get you anywhere, is it? So he maybe had no choice, boys.
You can't ignore and I know I keep mentioning it, but the difference in finances, Ali. I mean, they can leave Jorginho Rutter on the bench, who I think he's still their record signing.
Yeah.
You know, he's had an absolutely phenomenal season, and he comes on and has the impact that he had. the gulf is huge, especially for two teams in the same division.
Yeah, and I think as Danny made the point, just towards the end of the game, they're two clubs at an entirely sort of different stage of their development. And Plymouth, in themselves, they are a big club with a fantastic following, and they've got themselves back to this level. But I mean, if you look at their squad, for example, in the first half of the season, we're relying on some of the loan players to really help them, do what they've done so far in the Championship this season. And some of them have gone now. Finn Azaz is now at Middlesbrough. Luke Cundall's gone back. He was on loan from Wolves. Kane Kessler-Hayden was a regular starter from Aston Villa. So they've had to sort of reshuffle and go again. Whereas Leeds have got this squad, which is, it's not far off the squad that was in the Premier League for them and doing the business. And I think when you come to FA Cup games, Steve, we always think this, don't you? You look at the two squads on paper. I mean, even a game like Ipswich Maidstone that I did in the fourth round, and you know that it can happen. The underdog can win, given a fair wind and a bit of luck and the other team being off it. But if Leeds turned up tonight and played properly with their best players, they were going to win. It's very hard for Plymouth to beat them, isn't it?
That's a great point, and that is the key for me. I wondered how Leeds would be going into this game, how serious they would take it, but their attitude was spot on. Forget the quality that they have. Their attitude was absolutely spot on tonight, and then obviously the quality that they have is going to show, and we saw that in extra time. The players that they were kind of able to bring on, Plymouth do not have that luxury. But look, I thought Plymouth were outstanding. They kept Leeds honest. They got themselves kind of back into the game. Their goal is to make sure they stay in the Championship for next season. They've got to try and establish themselves now as a Championship side. I think they're a brilliantly run club. I think in terms of the recruitment, the players that they bring in, the managers, the choice of managers that they've picked over the last kind of 4 or 5 seasons, going from Ryan Lowe all the way through to Schumacher to now Ian Foster. I think they're a very well run club, and they're trying to get to where Leeds are now, but it's not easy.
They've got a clear model, haven't they, of what they're trying to do?
They have, and the fan base is here, and they'll be hoping, as the years go by, they can keep developing, kind of keep growing. But it's not easy in this game now. You need owners with rich kind of pockets, and it's difficult for kind of clubs like this. But you can't knock the way they kind of go about things. And there are other ways of kind of getting there. As I said, if getting the right type of manager in, making sure your recruitment's spot on and stuff, you can do it that way as well. But money talks also as well, and we've seen that tonight with Leeds. Jorginho route to £40 million.
Yeah.
Morgan Whittaker's probably might go for about 20 million now, but the makeup of their whole squad probably doesn't come to that, does it? So